Sorry, false alarm. Forgot to put the titles in. All right. Let's see. Drums with Simon.
Let's get groovy.
Is live with us on the YYC podcast. Let's get groovy. Yes. Okay.
And the also the
Yep.
live.
Mm-hmm. Talk. And music. Musician. Music talk. Oh no.
What?
I'm getting raided. We haven't even started yet. Okay. Done. Now we're starting.
Okay. Come in. The show's about to begin. Today we have a special guest all the way from Germany. We have DrumsWithSimon. You guys are going to be in for a treat. He's going to talk all about his drumming, his band, one of them, Wartar. He's going to show us music videos. He's going to tell us about his travels, how he's a biologist. It's just going to be amazing. So stay tuned. Drums with Simon here on YenYorkCity Live.
YenYorkCity Podcast. 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 YenYorkCity.
Hey-o!
What's up, everyone?
What's going on?
Peace and love in the house here with Luna. And today, it's not tonight, I keep saying tonight, but today we have an amazing special guest from Germany, and you guys been asking for it. You know, Drums with Simon. He's pretty hot here on Twitch. And you're gonna hear all about his band, Wartar. I gotta say it right.
Vatar
It's
with a V.
no, it's with a W.
Yeah, but they pronounce it with a V
So
because it's German.
Okay, so I got my German friends and my German mod. Alpine, thank you for the resub. My beautiful German friend, and he's gonna help me. And also, Jelson is here. Jelson is also from Germany.
Wampe.
Wampe.
We gotta figure out how to say your name right.
He's on the podcast next week, guys. So it's like Oktoberfest here because we have our German friends celebrating the month that we get to dress up with our guests and have fun. So today, of course, you know, with the good vibes, we had to dress up as hippies because you know who gives the best vibes on Twitch? Simon, okay?
He got all the love and all the vibes.
He's so beautiful, inside and out.
He's got a big heart.
Ugh, the biggest heart on Twitch. I would say he's just one of those people that you go in there, you're gonna smile, you're gonna have fun. You know, he's an amazing drummer. and he's just very loved in the community. The drummers here are all very supportive, and he's definitely one of those guys that, you know.
Liberty, Luna, and Karma Yen.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Nice.
All right.
I like that. Debbie!
Debbie, our queen, Debbie. What's up, honey? Thanks for being here. Debbie, how's Scarfield doing? Is Scarf with you? Matt Scarfield and Debbie, another power couple here on Twitch. So today we were gonna do Sunny and Cher, speaking of power couples, but it was like he didn't want to shave.
It was a yeah. I gotta keep the beard. You know. Okay. I don't know. Sunny. He looked good without the beard. I don't know.
I have the Cher wig too, so I was gonna do the Cher, and then you know they were so cute together too, you know.
Yeah.
So we were gonna do that, but maybe
like us.
Yeah, we're like us, you know. And they had a really fun show, the Sunny and Cher. We're gonna do some 70s, 60s, 70s later on today.
Later. Yeah,
we're drumming later.
60s, 70s vibe themed night. So if you guys want to tune in later after the podcast. In a couple of hours, we're going to do the setup. We got to take the stuff down and then set up on my stream, and then we'll be up and running. Just watch for the notification on Discord, so make sure you're on Yen's Discord and on my Discord, and also follow us on our socials so that you'll be up to date as to what we're doing and at what time. But yeah, thank you, Debbie, for the resub. Comic Sans, thank you for the follow. Alpine for the resub. Hey, Mr. Man with the host and the raid. Thank you.
Mr. Man coming in with that raid. I know, we were just right on time too. We were just starting the podcast.
Drop some acid and solo for 3 hours. I don't know if I would be able to. I'd be so tripped out with the lights and stuff in the room.
60s and 70s were the time for music. I mean, that's one of my favorite eras, I think. I wish I would have been, I think, a teen around that time too. I mean, we would have looked so cool, right? As hippies too. So yeah, that's gonna be later today. But
if you haven't already, give this a share out, host. If you want others to catch this stream, you think this is something that they'll be interested in.
Spread the love.
Spread the love.
The vibes to all our friends.
Let people know that Simon is here, and we're gonna get to know him further outside of what we already know from Twitch. So we're gonna dig deep.
He's a biologist too. Did you know this?
I had no idea.
He's a biologist. He's actually lived in like remote tribes and studied people in what was it, the rainforest? I don't know. I'm not gonna start talking because I'm gonna let him do the talking.
He's gonna break it all down for us.
And he's gonna talk about all his experiences. Music, of course, is the highlight, but there's a lot more to Simon.
I wonder if he dissected frogs before.
You didn't dissect one in high school? In high school?
No, I think I would have passed out.
I remember everyone was grossed out, and I was like, oh, I'll do it. So I started doing it for my friends and like doing their projects for them because they couldn't do it. Now I think about it, I'm like, that was pretty gruesome.
Drums Art Soul followed you, Simon says. Yeah, do what Simon says because Simon says so.
Yes. Oh yeah, Santana. Yeah, you kind of have that Santana.
Oh, we can definitely do some Santana stuff for sure.
Yep.
This is my natural, just letting you guys know. I permed it. I had to perm it.
He would rock a fro, I think, really well. What do you guys think? I think it looks great. I can't stop staring at it. Look at it. It's a good fro too.
Got some tight curls in there.
Shit, what was Coming to America? What's the glow?
Fro glow? Something like that? Soul glow?
Soul glow. I love that one. That movie is so funny. All right, guys, we're just chatting here. We're gonna bring the man of the hour or 2 hours. I don't know how long we're gonna be because we have a lot to chat with Simon, and he's gonna open up with a really fun, awesome song too. So we're gonna talk about everything from his original bands to his travels, his biology work, and everything.
All the things.
All the things. I'm
excited.
Have fun tonight.
It's been some time since we had our last podcast, so we're coming in strong. So let's do this.
Yeah, let's do it. So are you ready for me, Simon?
Yes, I'm more than ready. I've been looking forward to this.
Nice. Now wait until you see what he looks like.
All right, let's
oh my
go.
Goodness. You're looking great.
And
are you looking for you, honey?
Here we go, Simon. Drums with Simon.
Here on YenYorkCity Live. There he goes. Woo! Hype it up for Simon.
Welcome in. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you for the invitation. I'm super hyped to be on the podcast. I'm very happy to be here. So Yen and Luna, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for your time.
You're looking great, by the way. I loved your costumes. I'm really digging it.
We had to come in, you know, with the vibes.
For hyping it up. So let's get started with a little bit of music here, right?
Let's do it.
The first track I got for you is from Villages of YenYorkCity. This is The Age of Aquarius.
Stay close to the river and cry, and the river's gonna feel you're the god of rain. It's gonna worship you like God and creator for ages. And all the fairies of the forest will come. They wanna show you to the dance of night. This is the age of Aquarius. Stay close to the river and cry. The river's gonna feel you're the god of rain. It's gonna worship you like God and creator for ages.
Hey, Ka, welcome.
All the fairies of the forest will come. They wanna show you to the dance of night. This is the age of Aquarius.
Yes. I
my
love this song
God.
so much.
That was nice.
If there was an epic song, it was
Thank you so much.
that one. That was amazing, Simon. Oh my
Kaz,
God.
welcome in. Welcome everybody.
I see your piece
Amazing
coming
to see
in.
you.
Hey, Simon, I think we're shopping at the same jewelry shop. I mean,
Peace. I got the earrings. Let me see the earrings. I got the peace sign earrings. See?
yeah, those look nice. I like those.
That's a great song. Smashcap is asking if I play Father Son as well. Well, not today, but it is a great song. Like, I'm a huge fan of Villages of YenYorkCity, and Father Son is an amazing tune for sure. But yeah, not today. I tried to pick, like, actually for today, the songs that I'll be playing are all like favorite requests from my streams. And I tried to pick a good variety of different kinds of songs. And all of those actually are songs that I discovered through streaming. Like, this is a huge part of my experience here on Twitch as well. Like, with this amazing community, there's a lot of musical knowledge out there, and many people who know amazing songs. And I love to discover music through streaming, through the viewers, and it's very pleasant. So all of the songs that I'm playing today are actually discoveries that I made through streaming and through the wonderful community here.
Nice. So, how was your weekend? Did you do anything fun?
Well, I had a kind of relaxing weekend. I got to say, we had band practice, and I did clean up the one of the rehearsal spaces quite a bit. You know, like tearing down the whole drum set and vacuuming all the stick debris from the carpet and stuff like that. So yeah, I had actually a pretty relaxing weekend. Nothing too exciting going on this weekend. Just yeah, you know, band practice, cleanup of the rehearsal space. I'm gonna be setting up a new drum set in a different rehearsing space very soon. Actually, next weekend. I'm very much looking forward to that. And also, I got some new cymbals that I took the opportunity to like tear down the whole drum set and make everything nice and clean in order to install some new cymbals that I got. And
What did you get?
I'm very happy.
What kind of cymbals?
I got some classic custom darks, mainly for show,
Oh.
to be honest, because they look
They
amazing.
do. You're sexy.
And yeah, I have them on my heavy metal setup, which I call like the monster, because it's such a schlep to get that to a show. Like, it's a really huge drum set with like 6 toms, 2 bass drums, and it needed a bunch of cymbals, right? And since the drum set is like a black Sonor kit, some of you might know it actually from my starting screen, or if you're on my Discord and stuff, I think I shared some pictures of it there. It's like a huge heavy metal drum kit, like 2 kick drums, lots of toms, and lots of cymbals as well. And I was rocking pasty cymbals before, and don't get me wrong, I love pasty cymbals as well, but these Meinl Classics Custom Dark just look sick, right? And they are very loud as well. Which is good for the type of music that I'm playing with this set. So yeah, I'm super stoked with the new cymbals, and I'm very happy actually. It looks awesome, and it sounds pretty nice as well.
Smash Cab is saying how drummers are wood chippers. It's true. There's wood chips everywhere on the floor when you guys drum, right? There's always wood chips because of all the yeah.
I don't get it as much
Yeah, for
now
the
with
rim
the
shots
electronic
mostly,
gear.
right? Like, if you rim shot the snare, then it's gonna eat into the stick over time. And yeah, like if you play a lot of drums, there's gonna be a lot of wood chipping for sure.
And Smash Cab is on the podcast in November, guys. So shout out to Smash Cab because he's gonna be on, and he's a drummer also. So that's gonna be cool. And where's the mango juice? Lawrence is asking.
Yeah, Lawrence, my dude, and Katsi is here as well. All of you lovely people, thank you all so much for tuning in. And of course, the mango juice is right here. Cheers, everybody.
Oh, I need
the
like
mango
the
hype is real. The holy mango juice, right?
Lord
I mean,
Mango
it's-
Juice. That's Simon right there. The mango. That's his superpowers right there. He drinks them.
Right? Like it got to the point where this is almost a meme on my channel because everybody knows I love mangoes. Like mangoes and strawberries are my favorite fruit. And since it's really difficult, or like at least it's not very environmentally friendly to get fresh mangoes here in Germany because they don't grow here, right? We will be talking about my travels as well. I've been traveling a lot in South and Central America, and that's where my love of mangoes comes from. And obviously, I live in the north of Germany where there's no mango trees, and therefore, if I wanted to get fresh mangoes, you know, they had to be shipped or brought in by plane and stuff like that. It's kind of not too great to do that very often. So therefore I resort to juice when I'm here, which is much easier to transport. And yeah, that's the drum juice. That makes this drum machine go, is like mango juice. Fair trade organic mango juice mixed down with a little bit of water because like the mango juice itself is very thick, and therefore you have to mix it in with water. That's what I'm running on.
Mango juice and awesomeness. So I know you have some new projects also in the works, and you just launched a new single with your band Wartar, right? And
yes,
that was this week. Was it this week that you guys had a new single?
And also, how do you pronounce that? Just for clarification.
It is pronounced Watar.
Watar.
Watar. Yes.
I like it.
Exactly. And actually, the word comes from Arabic. So we are like a multicultural band, and two of our members, the bass player and the guitar player, are from Syria. Our singer and guitar player is from the Ukraine, and I'm from Germany, obviously. So we're kind of a multicultural melting pot. And we have these like Arabic influences in the music. It's metal music, obviously, but I like to call it like progressive metal or alternative metal because we because of these dudes are from Syria. They bring in like Arabic scales and stuff on the bass and on the guitar. And our singer, since he's from Ukraine, we have lyrics in English and in Russian as well. So it's kind of a very interesting mixture. And we've been actually releasing this last weekend, like not even a week ago, or like just like a week ago, we released our very first single. It's called Soul Seeker, and we made a music video for that as well. And it was a blast. It was a lot of fun to make that. A lot of work as well. A lot of work went into this. Like we're producing an album as well, and the whole album will be coming out in a few months. So please stay tuned. Like if you like the single, you're gonna love the whole album. It's got smash hits all over the place, right? And so maybe we can even check out that music video. I don't know. Do you want to show it?
Oh yeah, we can definitely show it.
I definitely want to show it.
We're gonna pull you off screen real quick while we pull that video up. Let me see.
Yeah, cool. So have a look yourself.
It's gonna be fun. And as you can see, we got these two awesome drummers on the screen.
So what is it called?
Soul Seeker is the name of it.
Let's see how to find it on here.
You sent it to me, right, Simon?
Yeah. I think I sent a link to you on the Discord earlier. But you should also be able to find it. If you go to YouTube and just type in Watar, Watar, and then Soul Seeker, you should be able to find it. Oh yeah, Alpine's got it already. There you go.
Beautiful. Look,
Lawrence is hyped as well. It's so nice. Azio is here. Lawrence is here. All the lovely people. Thank you all so much for tuning in, by the way. Katsi, big hugs go out to all of you lovely people.
Drum fam. Strong fam.
Okay, we're gonna put Simon back up on here. Bam, there he is.
Oh, thanks so much.
Hey, Snake is here as well. Nice.
Welcome in.
Welcome, Snake, my dude.
So we are going to watch the new single by Watar, Soul Seeker, and that's the band that Simon drums for, and it's beautiful. I love that it's diverse. I love that there's different languages in the lyrics, in the songs. I love that. I love that fusion.
So let's hear this.
All right, let's do it. So Seeker, Watar, their first single. Let's go.
Nice.
That was fire. That was awesome.
This
wow.
is the other side of Simon we don't see.
You look really good in that
That's
video
true,
too.
like-
I love the whole like in the forest and then the graffiti, and it's just like I like you look great in that video, and the drums, everything, the guitarist, everything.
The tone of the drums were really good, and the djembe has a nice touch to it with the
Yeah,
tone.
right?
It sounded really good.
Yeah, that's also part of this whole cultural melting pot thing that we have going on with the band. I can't do that live, obviously, but for the album production, I layered in some percussion tracks on our music, and it really give this tribal vibe, you know, like it's I'm digging it. I'm really loving it.
I'm still moving from it. I'm like, it's like in me still, you know. It's like very haunting and
that's a massive kit you got there too.
Yeah, exactly. Now that's the kit that I was talking about. Actually, I call it the monster because it's such a haul. You know, like if you bring that, usually I use backline kits on the shows that we go to because it's just way too much hassle.
Yeah.
To bring the drum kit, right? But sometimes for some special shows, we take on the hassle and bring the actual drum kit, and that's also the kit that got a cymbal update. So like this is a black sonar kit, like the apple of my eye, so to say, one of my favorite drum kits. And yeah, as you saw, it's massive. It's got like 6 toms, like 3 rack toms, 3 floor toms, and 2 bass drums, and a bunch of cymbals. And all these cymbals now are Classics Custom Dark, so they have a sick look to them, and yeah, they sound pretty good as well. So yeah, it's a showpiece to be honest.
You mean your bandmates
you could also
wouldn't
call it an overcompensator.
You mean your bandmates wouldn't hire like roadies for you just so that you can bring your stuff over?
Yeah, right. You really need a drum tech. Like if you're rocking a kit like that, you really need a drum tech and people helping you out to put it all together, to get it in and out of the van, you know. It is a massive schlep. But yeah, therefore, usually on most of the shows, actually, I'm a bit of a lazy dude when it comes to bringing my own drums. So usually, and on most shows that we play, and if they are like further away or so, I will have a backline kit and just bring my cymbals and my snare and my double pedal for the bass drum, right? And that's about it. And of course, my stick bag and stuff. Yeah. But yeah, so that makes everything much easier using a backline kit, and you know, just bring in the cymbals and the snare and
you just hope that the backline was actually like up to date and nothing's broken and skins are good and the thrones aren't falling apart.
You know, sometimes if you do like club gigs or something like that, you know, you get to a place like you know, small nightclub or whatever it is, and sometimes they have really beaten up backline kits that you like, where the heads are all dented and everything. Like sometimes it's really awful, but we've been pretty lucky with that, actually. Like usually we play, like especially like this last year we had very few concerts, and because of obvious reasons, right? And pretty much all of the concerts that we played were open air on like bigger stages, and they would have like a backline service, like you know, like a music store or like Sonar providing drum kits, right? And therefore they would always be like, the backline kits would always be really nice, like pristine almost, like with new heads on them and really fun to play, right?
So it's been a lot of outdoor. Yeah, well, last year was pretty crazy. How was that experience? Did you get together other ways, like through, you know, like this via online? Did you do anything in the process of 2020? I know you started streaming, so we should actually talk about how did you even start streaming on Twitch, because you have that band now, right? But now that you're incorporating the band and Twitch, how did that even evolve?
Well, actually, I have 2 more bands. Like I play in 3 bands.
How do you find time?
And I do help out other projects as well. Like there's a few side projects where I produce drums for them, and you know, send them MIDI files or what have you, or recorded drum files. And also sometimes I help out other projects when, you know, like, oh, we have a gig and we need a drummer, you know, and stuff like that. But I have like 3 bands that are like my main gigs, where I'm like a regular member, and I'm involved in the whole creative process and everything. And like basically the whole of the whole 2020, the whole year of 2020 was a huge bummer. Like I've been getting into, like I've been playing drums for pretty much all of my life. I started as a small kid, but I've been taking it way more serious over the last like 3 years or so. Yeah, probably like 3 years. maybe 4. So that was a big bummer. Usually I used to play in one band and that's it, and it was more like a hobby thing on the side. But it became more professional, if you want to call it that, in the last years. And I'm usually like playing a lot of gigs. Like in 2018 and 2019, I played like 40 to 60 gigs per year.
Wow.
So that means like pretty much every weekend you get out there. Like you have like 2 gigs every week, so to speak. Like and it really started to pick up because I was playing, like, as I'm playing in 3 different bands, there were lots of opportunities to play live concerts and actually earn money with that. Like I had never done that before. We talked about that, and we're going to get deeper into that. I'm a biologist. I'm a researcher, a botanist to be precise.
Wow.
So I used to work in a lab and in botanical gardens and do field studies in the rainforest and stuff like that.
Oh.
And I just decided to take because I had the opportunity, like there were bands asking for drummers, and many of like these were my friends, right? That's also, I'm very, very fortunate. Like I gotta say, I'm super fortunate because all of these bands that I'm in, they are like my family, right? Like these people are very good friends of mine. I've always been well connected in the music industry here in around these parts in my city, at least, or here the north of Germany. And many of my best friends are musicians anyways, because my heart beats for the music. And it kind of developed in that way, like everybody was asking me to join their bands. And
so how old were you when you started picking up the drums? Like you said, you were a child, like a kid, right? A child.
Yeah, I started playing the drums when I was 6 years old. That's when I got my first drum set.
Oh, that's amazing. What kind of drum set was it?
That was a Sonar Child's set. They are not manufactured anymore because that's like 20 years ago.
The Sonar?
And it was so I got this children's drum set for my 6th birthday, and it was like a mini, very cute children's drum set, more like a toy than an actual drum set, but well made, not like these like super cheap. My profile
like
picture. You can see it here on the side. I'm wearing, I'm like using a really crappy kids drum set. Like it's a bit of self-irony, I guess.
The little baby? And that's the one? Did you keep it all these years?
That's not the one I started with. That's actually a pretty crappy children's drum kit that you can probably pick up for a few bucks.
Oh, that's the kid.
Aww.
But yeah, like it was kind of similar, but better made. Like it was a Sonar, right? So it was an actual drum kit, but in very small sizes. So
the shells were made of wood
as a small kit.
Actual metal hardware.
Yeah, exactly.
Aww.
And yeah, so like the whole, you were asking about the whole pandemic situation and everything like that. So I started doing tons of gigs and really getting into like doing music professionally, like even earning money with it, which is not a given. Like that, like playing in like local kind of ish bands with original music is very hard. That's a hard a hard thing to pull off, right? And but yeah, like we really managed, or like being able like to play for many bands and in many projects, I was able to actually even earn a little bit of money with that. So it was really picking up, and then the pandemic hit, and it was super depressing. It was like we could like at one point we were in lockdown here in Germany for many months, and we couldn't even rehearse. Like it was pretty fatal, and it had an impact on my mental well-being as well. Like I didn't really realize at first, but I slowly but surely really started slipping into a depression because I wasn't able to do what I love, and like to meet people and hang out, but also like play music and like, as I said, for many months we couldn't even rehearse with all the bands, and it was really starting to wear down on me. So in the beginning of 2021, like this had been a long time coming, and I was really getting desperate, and I kind of joined. That's what took me to Twitch, right? I kind of joined Twitch. I'm a pretty new streamer still. I joined this year, and pretty much out of desperation because I didn't know what to do, and I needed an outlet for my creativity, and I really missed like the interaction with the audience,
energy.
like being on stage, like it gives you kind of a feeling of approval if you get out there and you can make people dance and laugh and smile and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I love making people smile and giving them a
too.
good time is like what I really like, warms my heart, right? And not being able to do that for such a long time really took a toll on my well-being and my mental health. So yeah, pretty much out of desperation, I started streaming on Twitch. I wouldn't have considered it otherwise, to be honest with you. And I didn't know what to expect. I just, jumped into the cold water and tried it with, this put together the equipment that I had lying around anyways, and tried to make it work. And it worked wonders, actually. I was blown away. I was really surprised. It blew my mind, really. Like the community here on Twitch of drummers and musicians, but also of the viewers. Like it's such a special place, right? I was really blown away by the community here on Twitch. It is amazing. I did not expect that. I know the internet can be a really harsh place, like hanging out on Twitter or Facebook, you will realize pretty quickly that there's a lot of bad shit going around.
Yeah, that's true.
But not so here on Twitch. Like I didn't know what to expect, and I was blown away. Really, the support, the good vibes, the love, all the people are so supportive and so positive. I was taken into the drummers community almost immediately. Like people got me into the drummers Discord, and everybody hooked me up with everybody, like within a few weeks I was connected to many amazing Twitch drummers and musicians, and I was really, to this day, I'm stunned. I'm really stunned by the community here on Twitch. Like,
Especially
cheers to you.
The
really.
drummers here are the best. Like, they just have such a warm disposition with each other, and I don't know what it is. I mean, I've been in other communities, and you go to the fitness community, they're really cool, but in the music community there's different, like the rocksmith and everything, but like the drummers, it's something about drummers, we guys.
This is why we always have drummers on our podcast.
Because
we're awesome.
Yeah, and you guys are
The
so
drum
like
fam,
down.
right?
You
Drum
guys,
fam.
Yeah, drum fam. You guys are so down too. Because I was asking a few people to be on this month, and a few are like, I don't know what it is. It's like guitarists have some kind of a complex sometimes, but drummers are like, nah, let's do it. I'm righteous.
Yeah.
Let's do it. And then sometimes they're like, I don't know if I'm gonna be interesting. I don't know if I'm gonna. Why would you want to? I was like, what do you mean? Like, you have to be confident to be a drummer, right? So I think that's another thing, like, because you're the foundation, you're the heartbeat of the song.
This
so.
is our opportunity to shine, especially when we're on like a stream and we're by ourselves.
Put
playing.
me in the front.
We can actually like showcase ourselves versus having to be in the back of the group and being just laying down the beat. We're just to ourselves. We're like antisocial back there, just like doing our part, and that's it. Whereas now, now we can just be like, woo!
Let me in. Come on, I'm here, baby. Yes, I noticed that.
Right?
I noticed that with the drum. They're very down to be on the podcast, and they're very like friendly and down to earth, and they're just chill, And that's one of the things I love about the drummers. And everybody's not afraid to share the love, and you guys all rate each other. You guys, it's not a competition. It's more like everyone has their own style, their own flavor. And that's what it's up. That's what's up, I think, with the drum community that makes it like a real family, And obviously
Absolutely.
Everybody here, look at everybody that's hanging out in the chat. A lot of them are drummers themselves. So, we're all here together, growing and doing stuff, So, yeah.
So speaking of
absolutely.
Twitch, so you've been on here for quite some time, and your numbers have been going up. What is your thoughts on having to become an affiliate? Because I know you pulled back on having to fill in those the forms to get your emotes and stuff running. So what's holding you back there?
Well, yeah, holding me back. Yeah, kind of. Well, I get this question a lot, so
Yeah.
obviously that's very obvious to people that come to my channel, and they wonder like, oh, I can't spend bits here. Like, what's up with that? I can't even sub to this dude, although I really want to. And yeah, that is true. I have not yet become an affiliate on Twitch. As I said, well, first of all, I'm kind of new to the whole streaming thing. I still feel like a noob, and although I've been doing this for more than half a year at this point. But Lawrence goes, the tax question. Yeah, that's one part of it actually. So yeah, I have not become an affiliate because, well, first of all, as of right now, I'm not really in it for the money. It's more a thing that I really enjoy the community and the, you know, like if I were to crack down the numbers, like I'm not really earning a lot with Twitch. Like it's really just more of a little bit of a tip, you know, and therefore yeah, it's for enjoyment more than anything, and for to get to hang out with all these lovely people, right? And also, I hate advertisement. I'm really against any forms of advertisement that goes beyond information, and any advertisement these days goes beyond information. I think, you know, like there's a saying that, you know, advertising makes you want to buy stuff that you don't need to impress people that you don't like, and I think that's very fitting.
Boom. That's true.
Like we're in like this is the end game of capitalism. Like here in the Western countries, like in Germany, but in the US as well, I suppose, we have everything we need, right? Like we have more than we need even. Like stuff just keeps piling up in our homes, right?
Yeah.
And we don't even use it because we have so much of everything, right? So we need, like, the economy needs advertisement to keep people busy buying stuff they don't need, and I'm not a big fan of that. So that's another point why I'm not an affiliate, because I think it gets me less ads. I'm not exactly sure on the numbers there. I thought I was getting no ads if I don't become an affiliate, but it doesn't seem to be the case, although I get very little ads, I think. So yeah, that's another point. Also, although I love Twitch, and of course they are providing this amazing platform for all of these lovely people. So I really I think that's cool to support that as well. But on the other hand, it belongs to Amazon, and I'm a little bit, you know, I'm a little bit hypercritical with like huge corporations. So I think like Amazon is making a ton of money, but at the same time they are not treating their employees really well. From what I hear, I've never worked for Amazon, but from what I have heard, it's not very nice, and they don't pay their employees a lot. I think they should really honor their workforce more.
They don't pay out the streamers much either, so
yeah, exactly. That's another point. Like when you, for example, when I become an affiliate and you would subscribe to me, then that would be a 50-50 split with Twitch, right? With Amazon, basically. So Amazon is taking half of what you want to give to your favorite streamer to support them. And I think it's cool. It's okay to support the platform, and like they need to make money, right? They have service running and stuff and everything. Although, like, I don't know, the customer service, from what I've heard, is also a bit slacking. But
Simon's woke is what he's saying. That's what he's saying.
yeah, right. So yeah, you know, like I think also, of course, when you become a partner and when you're like a huge streamer, you can negotiate a better deal with them and get like a 70-30 or you know, it's like 60-40 split or something like that, which is more fitting, more adequate.
That's at a certain percentage of a partner streamer.
Actually, to be quite frank with you, I think we as creators, as content creators, as musicians, whatever, we put in a lot of time and effort to get everything running. Like, to, you know, streaming takes a lot of time, right? And there's a lot of time also on the back end of it, you know, like maintaining all the technical aspects of it and whatnot, you know, like there's a lot of love and thought and time and blood and sweat and tears that go into creating an amazing stream, and, you know, like creating an amazing community and all that stuff. And therefore I think the 50-50 split is just a little bit off, maybe.
Yeah.
You know, like they are just hosting it. I mean, I appreciate that, and I think they deserve to earn money with that, but maybe not like 50% is a bit rough.
Yeah, it is a little high on that behalf. You know, like YouTube and even like Patreon and like all those other like platforms where they do the payouts, they only take at least like 30%, if that.
Right?
You know.
I mean, and that's reasonable. I think 30% is perfectly reasonable. If they were to do like a 70-30 split, I'd be on board straight away.
Yeah.
But I think the 50-50 split is just, like of course the servers have to be running, but yeah, that's some of the reasons. And also another reason is tax stuff, taxes in Germany are pretty complicated. And if I had yet another stream of revenue, of income that I would have to declare, it's a lot of work to do all the paperwork for that. And
taxes are a bit rough.
There's the payout is quite minuscule in like, I would have to spend a few hours every month or so to do the paperwork for it, and I'm not sure if that's worth it at this point, to be honest.
But if people want to contribute to what you're doing, because obviously it takes a lot of money to get equipment, to have internet service and everything, they have a place to give you for all of that, right? If they want to donate, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. Like, I'm not like, I can accept donations anyways. I don't need to be affiliated for that. So there is an opportunity for people, if they really wanted to support me financially, which is never necessary, but of course always appreciated. They can just tip me, and I get pretty much 100% of that income, and I don't need to share it with Twitch. So yeah, that's also a possibility right there.
Yeah, and that's the best way. So, we definitely want to say that, because it does take a lot for streamers to just go live. And a lot of people that are not streamers don't realize that.
So,
considering, I feel like I'm very privileged, to be honest, like, because I have all these equipment already, because I love music, right? I just had to get a better webcam, and I was ready to go. I have a mixing desk here. I have all the audio equipment. I have a really expensive electronic drum kit, and all that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Because I'm a musician already, so I had all that stuff lying around, and I just needed a cam. And I had this is a really fancy microphone. Actually, I'm borrowing this from my friend, who's a singer. So therefore, all this equipment is really expensive. You need a good internet connection. Just what you say, right? Like it's a lot of effort as well. So yeah, I feel very privileged to be able to do this, to be honest.
So you're gonna hear some random background noises. Our neighbors started up their music, so
we said it before the podcast, right?
Yeah.
We said all we need is our neighbors to start blasting music on a Sunday, because they do that sometimes. I don't know. I don't know, guys. I want to ask you if you preferred the podcast on Monday nights. I like doing the Sunday ones for our Europeans, because we have also a lot of people that are overseas that the time is really different. So that's why I like to accommodate either Sunday, either Sunday or. But you know what? It's not that bad, because later on we're gonna be boogieing and grooving, so we're gonna be doing our thing soon. So they can't say anything. You know what I mean? So even exchange of. But yeah, it's definitely gonna be in the background. So
we're gonna be muting in and out. But to go along with what you were saying, Simon. What I do for a lot of the podcast guests, I create emotes, custom emotes for you specifically. So after the podcast, I'll give it to you, and you have a Discord. People can join, and you can throw your emotes on the Discord to be used.
Yeah, awesome. That's amazing.
So we got the
Simon hype. There you go. Yes. I can see it already.
I love how colorful it is.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Oh my goodness. Johannes, welcome. Sergeant Anger, by the way. Awesome that you're all here. We have so many lovely people here from the community who are watching the podcast as well. And we got a Simon hype emote. I can't believe it. That's amazing. Woo-woo. Thank you so much. And of course, yes, we do have a Discord community. Of course, that's amazing. Oh, I can't. Thank you so much. That's awesome. That's really awesome. I'm loving it.
Thank you. It's a way of us to, say thank you for giving us your time. And also it's fun. It's fun to make these emotes for everyone, and I love seeing them actually used too. And so now you can use it on your Discord, so that's fun.
Mojo Jojo. All right, so how about another song?
Sure, of course.
What's the next song that you're planning on drumming for us? Thank you for the follow.
Blast bit metal
So-
drumming.
Hey, welcome in.
Welcome.
Since Jojo just joined us,
CP.
oh, and Chris is here as well, and Cutie. Oh,
Cutie.
lovely,
All our
lovely.
friends are
All
coming
you
in,
lovely
yes.
people. Thank you so much for watching. Since Johannes just joined in, I think I'm gonna play this song next because it was actually Johannes that showed this wonderful artist to me. So as I said earlier, like the songs that I'm playing today on the podcast are all like discoveries that I made from the wonderful community suggesting these amazing tunes to me. So this next one was actually suggested by Johannes during one of my streams. And this is called Mystical Mojo, and it is by Phil Turico. So yeah,
Nice.
I'd say
Let's
let's
do
jump
it.
straight into it. It's very different
with
from
Simon
the
here in
first one,
York
but
City.
that's also to show a little bit of the variety of styles that I do on the stream, right? So here's Phil Turico with Mystical Mojo from the album Signals. And once again, Johannes, thank you so much for showing that to me. I love the whole album so much. Oh yeah.
Oh, that was so groovy.
That air horn.
That was awesome. Johannes, that's a great pick that I guess ever since you heard it, you were like, we got to put that in the rotation.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
nice.
Absolutely. Like this happens quite often. And that's also what I love so much about streaming, about the whole community thing we got going on here. There is a lot of music suggested to me during the streams. You know, I often have open requests, or I love to set a theme as well during the streams. So I get people a little bit creative to figure out something, you know, like no English lyrics, or just instrumental music, or, 80s exclusively, or something like that, right? You know, the way I give people a lot of choices, obviously, still, but like spark their creativity a little bit with like putting a theme to it, or like electronic music. Like the last Friday, for example, we did like drum and bass and all crazy things, and it really is a pleasure to me to discover all this lovely music, and all of the tunes that I'm playing today also are prime examples for that. Like the first one, Villages of YenYorkCity, I learned that band through the streams, and this one as well. This was Mystical Mojo by Phil Turico, and the whole album Signals is phenomenal. And Johannes, thank you so much for suggesting that during one of my streams. I still have that album in my rotation. It is just mwah, chef's kiss. So yeah, that's also a big part of the whole stream thing that I got going, that we discover music together, right, with the community. And you know, it goes both ways, right? I'm loving it.
Checking out like drummers with theme nights and stuff like that, because then we also discover some new music too that we haven't heard before, you know, and it's all good stuff.
I think that's why also when I go to other drummers, I usually ask them if I like sub, and they're like, oh, put in a song. I'm like, no, you show me your favorite song that you like to play.
Something we have never heard before.
That I've never heard, because it's like I feel like I'm stuck in an era. Sometimes I'm like stuck in the 90s or in the 70s, or like
get the consistent requests of the same
and
songs.
I'm like, I don't want to be that person. Show me something. Show me what you got, what you're enjoying, because I might enjoy it, and I do. And most of the time I find the best new music, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna put this on my Spotify now because I really like that. And I feel that that's what makes it so awesome, is that we can all like kind of, you know, weave in other genres and other music that we might have not known if it wasn't that we were watching each other and what everyone likes.
Let's expand out of that radio music and
yeah,
and
exactly.
get cultural, you know.
Really, exactly. Like the community keeps digging up awesome stuff, also from different countries. Like another example would be some like Japanese music. I've become a huge fan of Japanese jazz music because of the stream. I have never really considered listening to that before. I don't even know why, but like there's phenomenal jazz music from Japan out there, and that's also something that I stumbled across through streaming and through the wonderful community here. Like just one other example of many.
Oh yeah, like that's true, like the Japanese fusion funk. Also a lot of the I've noticed there's a lot of great bands that come from Sweden, and also what was the other one, Iceland, and Finland. And I'm like, wow, I wouldn't have known this if I didn't have friends that were from Sweden or from Norway.
Metal is strong out there.
Metal is amazing.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Like, you know, I'm kind of a neighbor to these countries. Like we have ferries leaving from my town to Oslo, to Stockholm, you know, Göteborg. So naturally we are like, I'm almost living in Denmark, right? I'm at the border to Denmark. And so I'm feel like I'm very connected to to like Scandinavia as a whole, and their music as well, and also like even my cats, by the way, are named after the ravens of Odin, which are called Hugin and Munin. So yeah, I think we know that's something that is for us in the north of Germany. It's very obvious to like listen to European music, but like Japanese music was something that was really out of my scope, and it shouldn't have been. And the stream showed me, and I'm super grateful for that.
Yeah,
yes, Jelson.
I've seen a lot of videos of Wacken, and oh my god, those festivals are huge.
Very.
I've seen like Nightwish put off shows out there, and I'm like, oh my god, it's just
actually Wacken is very close to where I live. I can go there by bike. if I wanted to.
Really?
Like it's a small city.
Wow.
Yeah, it's like super close, and I've been there many times. And sometimes I even get the opportunity to get in there for free, like getting a press accreditation or something like that, or like doing something like a survey on on the festival, and then I just get free entry. And also a friend of mine lives in the vicinity of Wacken. And what's really cool about this festival, in order to get like the approval of all the people living around it, like the whole village really loves the festival as well, and they have a lot of opportunities to earn money from it, but also everybody who lives in the very vicinity of the festival where you would be annoyed by the noise or however, they get free entry. So a good friend of mine lives there, and they can go for free every year.
It was like the Euro version of Woodstock.
That's
Yeah,
amazing.
I mean, yes, kind of. It's very heavy metal though. Like
It's
it's very
metal, though.
focused
Yeah.
on metal music.
metal.
Yeah,
And like
it's the metal
everybody's wearing black shirts, black band shirts, right? It's
So speaking of
like,
bands,
I was there once wearing a blank white T-shirt, and I stood out so much. Like you couldn't even imagine. Just wearing a regular old white T-shirt, you are like standing out from the crowd a lot because everybody's wearing black band shirts.
and that's outside, right? So if like there's
Yeah.
a lot of dust and dirt and people moshing, if they still mosh over there like that, then it's just like gray, ends up like all different colors. and
Browns
browns.
and grays and
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
but it's so good. Like the metal community is is like one of my favorite communities ever. Like people are so warm-hearted, right? I mean, from what I have known, I'm a metalhead myself.
Yeah,
like for
yeah.
those of you who don't know, I mean, it's not obvious. I'm kind of a hippie as well. People call me like a metal hippie sometimes when they know me a bit better. Since like I'm a massive metalhead actually, and I love these communities because they are very warm-hearted people. From all of my experience and also from Wacken and everything, usually metalheads are just very upset with how the world is so cold and so
It's
like
true.
so merciless, and because they are very empathetic and very like actually pretty like soft and warm-hearted people that have just been turned down by the world in a sense, and they had to develop like this hard outer shell in order to protect themselves from getting hurt. And but what they really long for is just meaningful community and compassion with with a group of peers. And it really all the metalheads that I know, many of my friends, actually probably the majority of my friends are into heavy metal music as well, and they are so like really warm-hearted, empathetic, and amazing people. Yeah.
I agree completely with you. And I remember when I started streaming, I used to do a lot of meditation streams because you're a yogi too, and I'm a yogi. And I always would say, I'm like, I'm totally metal, guys. But remember, stay metal, but don't forget to meditate. And that was kind of like my thing, right? Because it's true. Like we could look like an exterior of like, we're badass and all this
we're
stuff.
always angry, screaming.
But no, it's to protect our soft hearts, guys, because we've been through shit, a lot of shit. That's what it is. So yeah,
Yes.
I'm totally understanding the metal thing, and I'm a yogi bear, yes.
So speaking of yoga, like when did you start doing yoga?
Well, I tried it first off. I don't even know. Like that's many years ago. But I really got into it though when I was doing well, I did most of my I really got into it when I was in Punta Mona actually. So I was traveling a lot in South and Central America, and I helped out with. I'm also, by the way, I'm a botanist and I'm also a permaculture designer. So I try to come up with ways, to make the world a better place and to help out with, getting food, but also not destroying the environment in the process, right? That's something I've been working actually in my research. I've been working a lot with soil fertility and the ecological implications of like how plants interact with the soil microbiota, so like the fungi and the like bacteria and microorganisms living in the soil are very very important part of an ecosystem, because they make the soil fertile, right? They break down organic substances and get the nutrients out to the plants. And that was one of my main focuses of research, was how this interaction, like there's something called the rhizosphere, which is the space around the roots of a plant. And I was very much into like the social life of plants and the ecology of that. I'm a botanist, so I've been researching the interactions between plants and microorganisms of the soil, to put it very broadly, right? So so in that function, as a permaculture designer and botanist, I was helping out in South and Central America to establish and help build communities that would do like permaculture farms and stuff like that, right? Like I would develop fincas, or I would help develop fincas. Of course, I wouldn't do it myself, like on my own, right? You need it's a lot of work that goes into that. But I was kind of counseling and also like surveying like the soils and the plants, you know, and like giving advice and guidance, and also of course getting my hands dirty and digging in the mud. And therefore, in this time when I was developing like these fincas or like these like rural areas, really, for food production, like small holdings, if you want to call it so, or like little organic farms, whatever. There were lots of volunteers as well, and not surprisingly, it's a bunch of hippies, right, hanging out in the rainforest trying to make the world a better place. That's basically what it was. And naturally, there were abundance of yoga teachers as well. Like permaculture and yoga goes very well together, mental well-being and body well-being and all that kind of stuff. So that was when I got really into it more deeply. Like we would do yoga sessions with the sunrise before getting to work, you know, and it was pretty incredible. That's when I really got the hang of it, right? Before I did practice yoga, but I always found it was a bit bulky and maybe unnecessary, and I didn't really get it because, you know, like I really didn't get deeper into it, but practicing it, like doing this every morning for like a longer period of time with some dedicated people that were also all into it, really got me into it, and I understood, like it really did make my body feel better, like make me feel better and healthier, and, you know, like more flexible and everything. And yeah, it was also a good time. Like it also depends on the people, on the peer group so much, right? So we really had a good time getting up early in the mornings and doing our yoga session with the sunrise, and then getting straight to work. Because, you know, like in the tropical areas, you have to kind of seize the early and the late parts of the day, because during noon, it's way too hot to do anything. So basically the rhythm you get into is that you get up really early, possibly like when sun rises or even before the sun rises, and then get to work early. So that's like 6 o'clock in the morning or something like that. And then once the sun rises up and it gets really hot and humid, you take a siesta, you take a break, you know, have a cold shower, just hang out, chill out in the hammock for a few hours, you know, read something or play games or whatever, read a book. And then in the evening, when the sun goes down again, you can get back to work, because like in the noon, like it's just way too hot and too humid, and you're just gonna be killing yourself when you're really doing hard physical work in that environment.
That's totally
so
true.
Yeah, that was a pretty long story for a short question, but that's how I got really into yoga.
You said, yes, the sunrise. I don't know if you're on Instagram. I don't know if you ever seen some of my stories, my Insta stories. I do like the sunrises, and I do like an affirmation or you know, kind of something so that everyone has some kind of positive vibe waking up in the morning while seeing the sunrise. And I do want to incorporate things more and go back to that, because with the pandemic and everything closing down and the gyms and the studios closing down, that's one of the reasons why people went into like streaming also, because it's like community, being around other like-minded people, and I missed that, and it really made me sad. So that's definitely, I understand that whole thing, and getting into the rhythm of things, and also undoing it because you don't have those people to do it, and the community aspect is really something that I miss too. So
yes,
that's
absolutely.
one of the reasons.
Like it rises, it stands and falls with the people, right? Like doing it on your own is, of course, you can do it, but it's not the same thing. It's much more motivating when you can actually do that with a group of people that you love and share that amazing energy in the morning, for example. It is a different thing basically. And also Nigel, hey there.
Nigel's in the chat. And also, guys, if you have any questions for our beautiful friend Simon, please put it in the chat so we can ask him, because he's here to answer all those questions and get to know him more in depth. So now we're knowing more about what he does other than music. So
he's a botanist.
So describe that. What is exactly the definition of a botanist then, for people that don't know? Yeah, mental health.
Yes, absolutely. Questions are encouraged. We're here to chat and learn about stuff. I mean, maybe that's a good. I mean, I already gave you a little bit of an intro on my backstory of my work. So, yeah, basically, I'm a botanist, a researcher, and I have some papers published. And I did work a lot with soils and plants and like plant ecology, like how do plants talk to each other, how do they interact with microorganisms and fungi, and how does it all like weave together, like.
So that's like, the primary functions of what a botanist does is the breakdown of the details of what like of kind of how like the biology of like plants and stuff kind of work, integration with one another, or with the soil that it's in.
Yeah, but there's of course areas of specialization, right? And for me, I was always interested in the ecological stuff, and I researched ecological stuff on a biochemical level as well. Like plants obviously they don't talk and they don't move a lot. They do move actually, but very slowly, so we don't really notice. But yes, plants do move. But of course they cannot run away, and they don't make a lot of noise, right? So when they communicate, they would use chemical signals in order to communicate with each other, with other species, and also like with the microorganisms in the ground and with the fungi. So there's actually a lot of communication going on, especially when you go to something like a forest or even a rainforest, which is like packed with teeming with life, right? And there's a lot of communication going on that we are not immediately seeing, because like as animals we are like focused on eyes and ears, but actually plants do talk a lot through chemical signals, and they have chats with their pals, and they will also maybe scare away some other plants that they don't want to have growing in their vicinity, and at the same time they will attract certain microorganisms and certain fungi in their environment to like really make like a suitable environment for themselves, because they cannot easily like move somewhere else, so they have to make the best of what they have on the spot they are growing, right? And also something that's super interesting to me was fungi. That's not a plant, obviously. Like fungi are kind of in between plants and animals. They are their own kingdom. So but many people associate them with botany as well, kind of. But a mycologist is something different. Like, as I said, fungi are not plants and are not animals. They are their own thing. But they work together with plants really, really closely and really nicely. And so what they form, the hyphae, these little threads that go all through the floor and through everything and everywhere, are like it's also called the wood wide web. So when you walk in a forest, you can rest assured that all of the trees, all of the plants, everything growing there is connected by a net of fungi hyphae, and they exchange chemical signals even through this wood wide web, this network of fungi below the ground, and they exchange nutrients and information, and there's a lot of talking, a lot of chit chat going on that we don't immediately realize. And that is something that I was always very, very interested in. And it was also part of my research interest.
It's crazy.
And yeah, also I'm a permaculture designer, so like try to figure out like renewable ways of, you know, making the stuff that we need to do, like growing food in a environmentally friendly way, like basically organic agriculture.
It's funny and interesting how, like, you know, these plants kind of network and talk to one another in such a way. It's like, you know, you're walking in the forest and they're probably like, ha, look at this guy. What do you think he's gonna be doing?
Yeah. Well, of course, that would be a very anthropomorphic or anthropocentric way of thinking of it. But yeah, basically,
like
they
the
do communicate a lot,
and
most people are not aware of that. And I was always very fascinated by the fact that plants actually do communicate quite a lot with their peers and also with other species. Like they communicate. Well, a way that plants communicate very obviously to us is like flowers, for example, like their sexual organs, right? There's a lot of plants that use animals in order to either pollinate or to promote their semen or their seeds, and they communicate that to us as well. Like a tomato, for example, when the seeds within the tomato are ready to be dispersed with your poop, the tomato will turn red from being green. Like, will give you a very clear visual signal that now you should eat it, right? So that's just a little example there. But yeah, obviously plants do communicate in visual ways as well with their pollinators and with the animals that
like, yes,
are promoting their seeds.
By you.
Yes, and speaking of being in the forest and doing things and having plants and things talk to one another, did they talk to you when you were on ayahuasca? Because I know you've done a lot of you know, different kinds of stories you were telling me, and I was like, oh, we're gonna dive into those stories, guys. All right, we're dressed as hippies, you know, a flower power and flowers talking to you maybe on ayahuasca, I don't know. But Salamir, what's up? Commanding Drums and everyone here is having a good time. So let me see if there's any more questions on it. Hi, the apples.
Hey, Telemir, welcome. It's good to see you.
Norway.
We have a lot of amazing drummers in here.
Yeah,
See, that's what I mean. This community is just
I mean.
awesome. Like the drummers, the drum fam is just like, oh, the best, right?
The best.
But yeah, actually, I'm very interested in ethnobotany, and that's also one of the reasons why I've been traveling in South and Central America so much. And I've, of course, as a botanist, you're fascinated with the rainforest, right? It's one of the most lush environments with an incredible density of different species, right? Like you could walk for miles and not encounter the same tree again. Like it's crazy. The biodiversity in the like primary rainforests is over the top, really. And
it's like us as humans.
And I was very much interested and still am very much interested in ethnobotany as well. That is the part of botany that deals with the plants that were used by tribal people, for example, or by, you know, like that were used in the past, like edible or medicinal plants that have been used by ethical groups, basically. So may that be like Aborigines or our ancestors back in the days. Actually, here in Europe, it's kind of difficult to do research on that because the Catholic Church did a really great job at burning all the witches, and anyone who had like ancient knowledge from the Celtic times, like the Druids, for example, like what would be like the analog to a shaman in the rainforest or in South America would be a Druid back in the days here in the north of Europe, right? And all of the knowledge of the Druids is very much lost, and everything we know today is just speculation because they didn't write down anything. They just passed the knowledge by telling other people, and when this region got Christianized, like this was outlawed, and the like the witch trials and everything like that did the rest to that. So all of the old knowledge of plants, of medicinal plants and stuff like that here is pretty much lost, but not so in other parts of the world. That's why we ethnobotanists love to travel quite a bit, especially if we're from Europe here. So I've been living with like tribes in the jungle, with different Indio tribes in South and Central America. And yes, I did the ayahuasca thing as well. And I was fortunate to be really like living with these people. I did that in Ecuador, and I was working in an ethnobotanical garden at the time. And yeah, like trying to develop the garden, working as a tour guide there as well, you know, and studying. Like this ethnobotanical garden had a focus. Well, it's in the name, right? It's ethnobotanical. So it dealt with, it was a collection of the plants that were used by the Indios of that region, be it to for everyday use or medicinal use, or also obviously also that ayahuasca stuff. So I was very fortunate because I was working there. I could this whole ethnobotanical garden is run by a Shuar medicine woman, and she could get me in contact with a shaman that was living in the jungle still. I mean, of course, modern society doesn't just stop. So these days it's really hard to find tribes within the rainforest that are really still devoted to their original culture. It is a very different life from our modern life, right? And many of the, like, once, to put it short, once the road reaches there, like once they get to see what modern society can bring you, like refrigerators and televisions and stuff like that, these communities are pretty much destroyed. They are just wrecked because the young people will want to leave the community and basically go to the city or something like that. So it's very hard to find like original tribes that still live the old ways. But it is possible though, and due to my connections with the Shuar Indios of Ecuador, I could actually find some remote places where they were pretty much still living a very simple life, so to say. And I had the wonderful opportunity to live with them, and it was really a very, very deep experience. Not only like just living with them, you know, like living this very simple lifestyle without any electricity, without, you know, like just with the rhythm of nature, and, you know, gathering food from, they pretty much have a nomadic lifestyle. So they move through the jungle throughout the year, and they set up temporary camps where they live for a while, and then do a little bit of agriculture and a little bit of fishing and you know, a little bit of hunting, and then after a few months they pack everything up and just go to another location in order for not to extract too many resources from one single place, right? This is very sustainable, to be like moving around and spreading your impact across a larger area of rainforest, if you want to say so. So that was very enlightening, a very deep experience, very far removed from our ways, right? And it's giving me shivers even to talk about it. It was really a life-changing experience. And living with that tribe, I also had the opportunity then to go to a shaman of theirs, and shamans are considered, they're like healers as well. Mostly they deal with mental stuff, but also with some physical stuff. But you know, there's like herbal people that deal with the physical stuff, and the shaman is more like a religious or mental health doctor, if you want to say so. So if you and they use ayahuasca as a form of therapy, actually, and a form of self-discovery as well. Also, I mean, obviously, ayahuasca, if you don't know what ayahuasca is, it is a mixture of a psychoactive compound found in a vein that grows in the rainforest. It's DMT, dimethyltryptamide. And usually when you would ingest DMT, you don't get a trip because you have enzymes in your body that will detoxify the DMT immediately. So you don't get to a high concentration of DMT within your body. So ayahuasca works by mixing this DMT containing vine with other plants that continue inhibitors of this MAO enzyme. It's called MAO, and that is the enzyme that is for detoxifying the DMT. So you have to mix those in order to get the psychoactive effect. And yes, I've been studying psychoactive plants quite a bit. I've been very much interested in that when I was younger, but still am today. And that's basically how it works. So you need someone who really knows what he's doing, and also you have to fast. Like if you really want to have the ayahuasca experience, because you knock out a very important detoxification enzyme within your body, you have to be very careful about what you eat and what you put into your body, because you're kind of lowering the defenses of your body in order for this psychoactive compound to be effective, right? So that's why we would go to a special place and fast for like a week. I did this with a French colleague of mine, another ethnobotanist, and we were both fortunate to be on this journey together. And so we fasted for like almost 1.5 weeks, like 10 days. We were fasting, only like living off bananas basically, and a bit of oatmeal and stuff like that, just fruits, and in order to cleanse our bodies and get ready for this ceremony and this experience. And then after like 10 days of fasting, we had this ayahuasca ceremony, or actually you will, like if you take this really seriously, you can also have multiple sittings, multiple ceremonies. And basically it's just you and you have the shaman and then a few like trip sitters, people
you need
that
to do it with
like
people
tribes,
you trust,
people
right?
that will watch out. Sorry?
You need to do it with people you trust, because it's like an experience that you'll feel everyone's energy. So he's talking about ayahuasca, hey Pip, and his tribal experiences with tribe members and healers. And so he's describing what he had to do to get prepared for this ceremony, because there's ceremonies.
Sounds like a hell of a process too. Like just
to get through it. It is. It's like, it's not like just here, pop this pill and you see colorful things, like nah, it doesn't work like that.
There's a
I mean,
setup.
of course you
prep.
can just like go to one of these like tourist shamans and pay a bunch of money and they will intoxicate you with something, but that's not the experience that I was after, right? I wanted the real thing. I wanted to do the whole process and to really understand how shamanic healing takes place and how the shaman works, right? And how all of this like fits together, and you need to do the entire thing, right? And yes, of course, like with any psychedelics, this is a psychedelic drug. So like with any psychedelics, you only should do that in a trusted environment that you feel safe and comfortable, and that you have trust in, right? And also, like, of course, it's always good to have trip sitters. So there were 2 tribes people that did not take ayahuasca, and that were just, like watching over us and making sure we're not like like you for
That
example, if you take ayahuasca, you will have to puke at some point, or it's very likely that you puke, because it's just what your body reaction to that plant mixture is like. It's very strong, and your body is like, oh my god, I'm intoxicated, I need to get this stuff out ASAP, right? So it's probably going to happen. So there's bowls prepared already for you, so you can like, it's also part of the cleansing, right? Actually, the Shuar Indians, they do this quite regularly. They have like puking. They have a thing for puking somehow, and they don't necessarily use ayahuasca for that. They have other plant mixtures that will make you throw up, and they do that casually in the morning. Like every 2 weeks or so, they will just have a little a little cleansing by just throwing up everything that's in their digestive system, and replacing it with fresh spring water. It is a bit weird for us Western cultures, but it kind of makes sense, right? Like if you want to cleanse your digestive system, like puking is probably one of the ways to get
Kind of
stuff
like a
out,
colon
right?
cleanse, but through the other way.
Yeah, right.
And like a lot of these models
But yeah,
try to
so-
do that.
So basically, the shaman also takes the ayahuasca because he's like your trip guide, if you want so, and he will be chanting and you know, playing his shaman drum, and you know, it's like a hypnotic rhythm that's going on, and he's chanting in order to please the spirits and in order to attract like the good spirits that will help us on our journey while we're like tripping out, right, and to deter the bad spirits. And anything like there's a lot of things that can
Because your
happen. Like
vibe
usually with
attracts your tribe, you know what I'm saying? Your vibe attracts your tribe. So who you're with is the energy that you will promote and invoke within the tribe, and that's why you need a certain type of person that's experienced to do it. I've never done it, but in the yogi community, I hear stories, you know, whenever I'm in front of a class, they're like, oh, I just came back from Ecuador, I came back from Costa Rica, I came back from Bali, or those retreats, and they go at it and they do these ceremonies and they really take practice in it, and it's a spiritual cleanse for them. So
Yes.
I hear a lot. So what was your first ayahuasca experience? What did you feel and what did you take out of that experience?
It's very difficult to describe, to be honest. Like it is like an internal journey, and also you have to bear in mind that I did this because I was curious, right? Like I was in to get to know the whole process, and also of course to get to know yourself. It's like an inward journey into your psyche, if you will, and into your spirit world, whatever that is. And therefore for me it was like kind of a self-realization thing, and a like universe realization as well, like trying to, I'm a scientist, right? I always try to get to the bottom of things, like something that drives me, or one of my motivations is to get to the bottom of things and to figure out how things work and what this world is made of, you know. And the mind is also like one of the last frontiers of science. We don't know shit about how the brain works and how our mind works, right? So that's super interesting to dive into that, and psychedelics are excellent to learn about the mind and also to learn about the world. So basically my ayahuasca experience, it's very hard to describe, but I had a deep insight, like you get a little bit, you it's like lucid dreaming a little bit, right? So, and the shaman is watching over you during the process, and you know, doing these chants and stuff, and you take like an inward journey, but that also leads outward. I know it's kind of wicked to describe. So like you find the universe within yourself, if that makes sense for you. I don't know. Like people who have done psychedelics might be able to connect to that. And it's, for me, it was just a deep, very deep revelation of. I had like an enlightening moment, or however you want to call that, like of course also like induced by the psychedelic that ayahuasca is, but you know, I had a very clear vision of how everything comes together, like what and where my place in the picture is as well, you know. Like it was like I saw like geometrical patterns that were all kind of interconnected, and it all made sense to me in my head. It's very, as I said, it's very difficult to describe, and to convey that in speech is like trying to describe Zen, right? With words, it's just impossible. It's the great unknown. It's like, it's something you cannot describe with words, really, because it's out of that scope. But if I would have to describe it, it is like I had visions of geometrical patterns of light and colors, and everything was interlinked, was intertwining. I had a very deep realization that everything is connected. Actually, like it shakes me up when I relive it in my mind right now, like trying to get back to that place here and memorize in my memory. And it was a very profound realization that basically everything is connected, and everything is one big thing, right? Like it's a perception that we are separate, right? That's just a perception thing. That's how our mind explains the world to us. But the reality is that we are all together, like we are all one giant thing, like everything, like the whole planet, the whole universe, the everything is just intertwined and connected, and we are just like reflections of ourselves. Like it's very hard to describe, but like this is getting into metaphysics and stuff like that, but I think
I
like
totally understand what you're saying.
Yeah,
you know, like
We're
you've
all
unlocked
one.
another part of your brain that we will never know.
yeah, like exactly. It's like when you meet someone else, it's almost like you meet yourself, right?
Yeah, yeah.
If you know what I'm
Reflection.
saying, like
I've always had that kind of thought process too, that like, you know, with all of us living our lives, everyone has a particular form of knowledge where at some point, you know, like obviously none of us can actually understand what everyone else is experiencing or know in its form, but like maybe, you know, thinking about it like outside the box, like having to, if in the afterlife, maybe at some point we may just have that kind of connection of understanding what everyone else is feeling and dealing with, and all the knowledge behind it, and it's like, and at that point you probably just end up being God. So
I'm an
yeah, or
empathetic
something like
person,
that,
too.
you know, whatever, however you want to picture God to be like, right? But yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I had a very deep realization of that we are all shards of the same thing, basically, and everything included, not only persons, but like everything, right? Like plants, trees, animals, like the whole planet, the whole, like everything that exists basically, or that is perceivable for us existing, is like intertwined and like one big organism, like the Gaia hypothesis, maybe, you know. It's like
Yeah.
a connective, yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Smashcap is saying like the human race is like a collective organism. Yes, exactly. Like that's what I'm trying to convey here, and that was one of the insights that I took from my ayahuasca experience. Like a really deep realization of that, you know, like really, like yeah, very
yeah,
much so.
It's very interesting how that, you know, starts to become more into light when you start to open up that kind of portion of your mind, you know.
You're definitely opening a portal to another side of your mind, and you're opening your mind and to realize that we are all connected, we are all one, we're all here for a purpose and a reason, and at the end we all just want love, you know. I know, and I'm dressed like,
Yes.
oh, love, peace and everything, but it's true. And as healers, you know, you understand that, you know, you're here as a purpose, and we're all a collective consciousness, and together we can either be great and do things together.
And we're also a balance of one another as well. So like, you
we
know,
all have light and dark, and you know, shadow
Yes.
sides that we have to tame and become better and evolve as
we're puzzle
humans.
pieces. You know, if we put ourselves together as a whole, like we complete a puzzle. You know, and show a picture as a full.
Yes, I think so, very much.
That's beautiful. Yeah, at the end of the day, we just want to make it a better place, right, Lawrence?
He's singing a Michael Jackson song.
Heal the world, yes,
Make it a better place.
for all of us here. And all the vibes. And that's why I love being around Simon, because I feel like Simon is like the male version of what I really like wish I could be, and you know, everything from his being a badass drummer to being that centered human that wants to just make everyone smile, that's in the stream.
And it's that saying too, like we all
Yes.
live vicariously from one another, you know, like whether you going through an experience, we're living through that experience through you, as well as, you know, you're living through the experience through us when we're providing some sort of experience that we're showcasing. And you know, that's kind of how that saying kind of
Yes.
emanates. So crazy, man.
Absolutely. That's awesome. And Smashcap can also like kind of connect to that. He said that he had a handful of psilocybin experiences, and it echoes so much with what I'm saying. And yes, I understand that, Ka. And actually, yeah, psilocybin, like psychoactive mushrooms, I had similar experiences with these as well. Like I can totally relate to that.
So let's talk about music experiences. We're gonna kind of loop back around through there. We've already got to hear Watar What is the other band that you have for us to check out?
Yeah, actually, as I said earlier, I play in 2 more bands. Maybe if we have the hippie vibe going here. So next up would be probably very fitting to introduce to you Nativo. Which is Nativo, which is my reggae band, and that's like we're all for the good vibes, spreading the love, and it's also a very multicultural band. We're called Nativo for a reason. That means like native person, like tribes person, right? That's a Nativo. Like in Indio from the rainforest would be a Nativo as well.
Yeah.
So this is like reggae music, but fused with elements of Latin elements. Like two of the people in the band are from Venezuela actually, and yeah, it's a really nice mixture again.
And we pulled out the video.
So we mix in like funk, Latin, and rap and hip hop with reggae music, and so we could showcase that. We have a music video
the official
out.
Video up here.
That is self-titled actually. It's called Nativo. So it's pretty much
Check it out.
Song.
Nativo. His other band, and it has like a different flavor, like reggae, Latin fusion. Yeah, let's go. Let's hear it.
Viene sonando, rodando y tripeando, Nativo hoy. Viene sonando, rodando y tripeando. Viene sonando, rodando y tripeando, Nativo hoy. Viene sonando, rodando y tripeando, Nativo hoy.
Ritmos, tambores, melodías deliciosas nos trasladan a otro mundo. La vida es una sola. Voy caminando por una nueva ciudad, rodeado de percusiones, otro día que tocar. Timbal, campana, yembe, maracas, se fusiona con las congas, alegría llega al alma. Soy caribeño heredado de mis ancestros, somos gente nativa, orgulloso de donde vengo.
Viene sonando, rodando y tripeando, Nativo hoy. Viene sonando, rodando y tripeando, Nativo hoy. Viene sonando, rodando y tripeando, Nativo hoy. Viene sonando, rodando y tripeando, Nativo hoy.
Somos nativos, venimos del mundo entero. Ritmos, poesía, produciéndoles lo bueno. Vamos a bailar, vamos a gozar. Disfrutemos la vida, olvidemos otra vez la maldad. Un día nuevo llegará, confiemos en nosotros y verás como todo mejorará. Traigo más y más, no nos parará, no. Tarde o temprano la meta se logrará.
Viene sonando, rodando y tripeando, Nativo hoy. Viene sonando, rodando y tripeando, Nativo hoy. Viene sonando, rodando y tripeando, Nativo hoy. Viene sonando, rodando y tripeando, Nativo hoy.
Conexión ancestral hasta el centro de la tierra, lagos, mares, montañas y toda la selva entera. Fusión mundial, alegría y paz. Andamos con la gente, la que es buena de verdad. Conexión ancestral hasta el centro de la tierra, lagos, mares, montañas y toda la selva entera. Fusión mundial, alegría y paz. Andamos con la gente, la que es buena de verdad. Yo.
Viene sonando, rodando y tripeando, Nativo hoy. Viene sonando, rodando y tripeando, Nativo hoy. Viene sonando, rodando y tripeando, Nativo hoy. Viene sonando, rodando y tripeando, Nativo hoy.
Con los ritmos de nativos todos son felices. En la fiesta siempre bailan, nunca tiene fin. Con los ritmos de nativos todos son felices. En la fiesta siempre bailan, nunca tiene fin. Con los ritmos de nativos todos son felices. En la fiesta siempre bailan, nunca tiene fin. Con los ritmos de nativos todos son felices. En la fiesta siempre bailan, nunca tiene fin.
Viene sonando, rodando y tripeando, Nativo hoy. Viene sonando, rodando y tripeando, Nativo hoy. Viene sonando, rodando y tripeando, Nativo hoy. Viene sonando, rodando y tripeando, Nativo hoy.
so
Thank you so
fun.
much.
Oh, yes.
I like the diversity of the people that you have going in and out of the screen. You know, singing the chorus piece.
Yeah, I love that. I love the whole fusion of everything, and you look so cute. You were doing all these things. What was that? You were like
the flags, and then
you were doing
the sticks too. I remember I used to have one of those in high school, just throwing tricks and stuff with the sticks.
You were having fun. Yeah, it looks super cool making that video, I bet.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Absolutely, absolutely. And yeah, I do play poi and flags and stuff and devil stick, and I used to do that a lot when I was younger. Like even I would be in circus shows, and I do it with fire as well.
What?
And you know,
oh my god, I gotta see this. You got videos of that? Of you doing it with the fire?
Well, I had to dig. I would have to dig on some older hard drives for that. But yeah, I do actually have pictures and videos, like of me twirling the fire poi and stuff like that.
We gotta get that as a redemption for a stream. Just you doing some fire stuff. Just
Jeez. Or just have like a video of it so you could show people like you doing your fire.
Yeah, of course.
tricks.
I mean, I couldn't do it inside here,
No,
right?
that was crazy. What are you trying to do this time? And no, like do like a clip, like a video clip of like those guys.
Yeah.
That's fun. That's fun. I love that.
Interesting idea right there. Yeah, I haven't been doing it for quite some time, I have to say. Like I did it for the video, obviously, which was just half a year ago or so. But yeah, I used to do that pretty regularly. I even had like appearances, like I was hired for parties and stuff, like to do the fire dancing, but that's many years back now. Feels like another life, but yeah, like it's always a lot of fun, and I love to get back into that as well.
The more I find out about Simon, the more I love the guy. I mean, so many layers, so many stories. So what was your most favorite memory doing well, not only the music thing, but I just wanted to ask you that before when you were talking about living with a tribe. What was your favorite memory, and did you incorporate music while you were there and show them anything, like musically?
You mean like living with the tribes people?
Yeah. Because they do a lot of shaman stuff with the drums. They're very in tune with like drumming and things like that.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, absolutely. That's also something that drew me into shamanism, right? And like is obviously the shaman drum. But it's more like trance music, right? Like it's very it's meant to like give you like a steady heartbeat or something like that, and aid you on the journey. So for the shamans, the drumming is more like a spiritual thing. It's not so much viewed as a musical or recreational thing, but more like a way to guide you on your journey, right? So the shaman has a very different view on the shaman drum. Also, the shaman drums are like sacred instruments, right? It's not just any musical instrument. It's like infused with with a lot of stuff, with like the spirits. There have been like prayers are sung. Like when you want to become a shaman, one thing that you have to do is craft your own shaman drum, and a lot of chanting and praying goes with that. And like you paint the skin, probably whilst being on psychoactive substances and stuff like that. Like there's a lot of energy, a lot of belief, a lot of
channeling.
Energy basically is put into this instrument to give it the power to do what it does. So it's not really viewed as a musical instrument, but more like a more like a tool for the shaman, but not in music, but more in like spiritual journey kind of way, if that makes sense. It's kind of difficult to describe. But then obviously also the tribes do have like parties and dancing around the fire and stuff like that, and that's when they will drum recreationally. And
holy drums.
Holy drums.
And that's a whole different thing. Like that's not what the shaman does. Like this, like recreational drumming and dancing around the fire. Like they love to jump through the fire. Like it's considered like like when you get really hyped up at the party, you jump across the fire and everybody does it. Like barefoot and stuff. It's pretty crazy, and it's a good time.
The drums are very sacred, and that's one of the reasons why it's one of my favorites, because it is the heartbeat.
Did you jump through fire?
Yes, I did.
Oh, yeah.
Of course.
I would love to do that. That'd be
Don't
crazy.
you wouldn't want to miss out on that, right? Like if you're like I was very fortunate to be able to experience these things with these people. So yeah, there's like I went full on in.
When
Like,
you said that,
I did everything.
I think
I
of,
participated in everything that I could possibly participate in, and they would let me participate in because
When
it's
you-
like, and yeah, Commanding understands, and also Lawrence understands the holy
Grounding.
drum. Like the shaman drum is a grounding tool. Yeah, Commanding understands obviously very well. So that's different from like the tribal drumming when you're having a party and you're dancing around the fire, is very different from the shamanic drumming. Like in a like from your attitude, right? And what it's meant to do, right? So that's more like musical. And yes, of course, when I was traveling, obviously you can't bring a drum set when you're traveling. Not very easy. So therefore, obviously, I was playing all sorts of percussion instruments, djembe-like drums. Like not exactly djembes, but like very similar, and in all kinds of. They use like how do you call that? Like the like flask. They have like these. Corcovita is the scientific name, but squash. Yeah, squash. That's the English name. So they have like these squashes that are like ornamental squashes, if you wish. So, if you want to say so. So you can't really eat them, but when you dry them, they have a really nice. They make a very hard shell kind of thing, and they make drinking things of that, but they also make musical instruments out of that. So I have actually I brought some percussion instruments as well, like caxixis and different like rattles and drums and stuff from Bolivia, from Peru, from Ecuador, from Costa Rica, different parts of the world. As every musician, I guess, I'm kind of collecting musical instruments from all over the world. I even have a charango, like this little guitar that is used in Bolivia with like loads of strings on it. It's like a ukulele, but with like 12 or 13 strings, I think. And so yeah, I obviously brought a lot of instruments from my travels as well, like predominantly percussive instruments, obviously. And yeah, so I was obviously always jamming out when there was an opportunity. But actually, when living with the tribes people, that does not happen that often. Like I only had this like one opportunity where we had this big party and we were like dancing across the fire and what I was talking about. So that was basically just one singular event during the weeks that I was living with them. So it's not a very usual occurrence. So like, yeah, mainly I was getting down with hippies drum circles, to be honest, during my work when on the fincas, when I was in different permaculture projects and developing rural areas for ecological agriculture, like that's where you find all the hippies and the yoga stuff that we were talking about earlier, and they would always have drum circles every evening. Like there would always be this guy with a guitar, and of course I would find something to drum on then, right?
I mean, that's where to hang out, right? With all those cool peoples, like
yeah, absolutely.
So how
And
did
also,
you meet?
like,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
since it was in Central and South America, I of course picked up a lot of these like Latin percussive rhythms and stuff like that. Like with the people living there,
So how did
but
you
not so
meet
much with the
them?
tribes people.
How is it that you decided to just tour and was it from your whole travel adventures, or was it like for work and then you became more part of the community?
No, I think it was the other way around. I chose my work because of my curiosity, right? That's how it came to be. And I became a researcher because I was always very curious and very trying to get to the bottom of things. And I love trees and plants. I'm a flower child, if you want to say so.
Yeah.
So that's why I chose to study biology and study like pharmaceuticals and stuff like that, like because I was interested into plants in the first place, right? And that's why I became a botanist, and that's also I became a botanist in order to be able to travel, and also quite a few of my travels were where I would do like volunteer work and stuff like that, and woofing like work and travel and you bring
woofing,
your
I
hands
heard
to the
about that.
table, you help out build the farm, and therefore you get like free accommodation and food and stuff like that, like work exchanges and something like that. So I would help out building these communities, building like gardens and farms and stuff, and would help out with my expertise and get my hands dirty, and therefore I would get like accommodation and food and stuff like that. So that's how many of my travels went down. But of course also I went on a few field trips. The thing is, when you're a researcher and you will be working, you will end up in a lab for most of your days, and biology these days is a very digital science. So even though like I originally studied biology and I became a botanist because I wanted to be in the forest, right? That's what I loved as a child, and that's what I wanted to do as a job. Turns out if you're a researcher, and even though you're dealing with like plants in the forest and stuff, you will end up most of your days sitting in front of a computer.
Oh.
That's just how science works these days, right? Like you analyze, like you go out there, you do this incredible journey where you go out to the rainforest and you collect samples and you collect specimen, and that's like 2 weeks, and then you will spend like 6 months in order to analyze all of these samples that you collected, and you have to write about it, and like make a paper out of it, and you have to analyze all the samples, and I told you earlier I was working with like the biochemical ecology and stuff like that. Right. So I would analyze all the samples very thoroughly for certain compounds, for certain chemicals in them, and determine the levels of certain chemicals in certain parts of the plants, and stuff like that. And then also we would do genetic analysis, and it's a lot of computer stuff. In order to analyze the plants, you have to use a computer. Like I use a gas chromatograph, a GC, and an HPLC, a high pressure liquid chromatograph. That's some of the main tools of my research that I use to identify certain compounds within the plants, and that's operated by a robot, right? And it gives its results into a computer, and then you have to write about your findings, and you have to analyze your findings with like analytic programs, and you analyze your genetic findings, like you share your genetic data with a database, and then you compare it with huge databases in order to extract information and stuff like that. So that means basically if you're a biologist, and you will be sitting in front of the computer for long periods of time, either analyzing or writing, and you will go out there into the most craziest places and collect samples, obviously, but it will only be for a few weeks each year, and then the rest of this time you spend in the lab and analyze stuff.
Oh wow.
So I kind of grew tired of the whole computer, sitting in the front of the computer thing. So that's why I kind of broke out of that routine, and I traveled South America for one consecutive year. Like I wouldn't return to Germany. I would just, like keep on traveling.
Wow.
and work in botanical gardens, or do like ethnobotanical studies, and work to develop like rural development for these like ecological farms and stuff, like help people grow food basically in ecological ways, and help them out with my knowledge of plants, of ecology, and get my hands dirty and dig up the the drainage trenches or whatever was needed, really, right? Like building composting toilets or whatever, what have you, right? Or
wow.
Also educating. That was also like I always loved that. To like do tours for other people and educate other volunteers or educate tourists about like, for example, in Ecuador, when I was working in that ethnobotanical garden, I was doing a lot of like, I was working as a tour guide there, basically showing tourists that were interested the medicinal plants and the plants of daily use from the Shuar tribes and from the Indios and stuff like that, and sharing my experiences and explaining stuff to them, right? And I always very much enjoyed that. So yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. That's just thinking about that. It's like I can imagine being in your shoes and it being just a journey of going through like a whole year outside of your native country and going to some place. So you know Spanish, right? You're fluent in a lot of languages.
Sí, puedo hablar español.
Oh, look!
And
you should
if you
teach,
realize the
Luna
song
some.
from Nativo, for example, that was in Spanish as well. So
How did you
yes,
meet
I do
them?
speak
Are
Spanish. I'm fluent in Spanish. I do speak English, German, obviously, a bit of French as well, a bit of Portuguese. So yeah, I do know quite a few languages because I've been traveling so much.
Wow, that's amazing. Oh, I'm a little bit okay. Am I now louder? Okay, good. Thank you, love. So what was I gonna ask you? Oh yeah, so going back to Nativo, did you meet them through your travels, or was it because I know are they from Venezuela, you said? So they're not from
Yes.
Ecuador, they're from Venezuela. So how did you get together with them? Because they're quite different than your other band.
Absolutely. That's also why I thought it was like a good idea to showcase like music videos from my different bands, because they are very vastly different, right? And I really enjoy all of these. And so with Nativo, well, they come from Venezuela, but they are living in Germany. So I did not actually meet with them on the travels, but I got in touch with them through the music scene here in my area. So I actually got to know them here in Germany, and I did not meet them on my travels. No.
That background music.
Yeah, that's our neighbors, guys. New York City is always popping with music. So if it's not coming from outside, it's coming from your neighbors. Pros and cons. But what were you gonna ask?
So no, I was thinking like back when you were talking about like the fires and stuff like that, and the rituals, and like not the rituals, but like the parties and the music and stuff that they used to do at the camps. The first thing that came to mind was the scene from Ace Ventura, with the mask. He jumps through the flame and he's like, just dancing.
Yeah, kind of like that, actually.
They're all
Like,
partying.
I mean, of course, Ace Ventura is way over the top, right? But yeah, it was a little bit like that.
So, do you have another song for us to listen to?
Yes. Let's see which one.
That's the next one
Well-
we're gonna hear him play.
Yeah, here you play.
Yes, exactly. So I had a few songs here, and I think what I at this point, this is going to be the last song that I'm able to play today, because it's getting really late over here, and it's like 10 o'clock here in Germany already, almost. And that's kind of where I have to stop thumping on on my neighbors, but
Yeah, you can't be
so-
like these neighbors down here.
Absolutely. So I want to go
You hear the
out with
bass?
a bang. And this
Yeah,
next one
let's do
here
it.
that I have for you is by Lilith Tsar, and this is called King, and it's a very empowering song for women, and I do
Alright.
like that, and it rocks. Let me tell you so much. So let's jump straight into
Love it
this.
already.
Here is King by Lilith Tsar. Nice. Now that was Lilith Tsar with King. If it's a man's word,
I wanna be
bring me
king,
down.
bitches!
I wanna be king.
Wow, that's an empowering song, I would say, because she said some things in there. I was like, hey, okay, you know. Wow, that's a very powerful song, and it was a great song. And who introduced you to that song?
That was Taken Bloom who showed this to me, a young author from the UK, and she requested this song on one of my streams, and I was blown away. Like, I think it's a great rock anthem, very powerful, and also I love the message of it. Like, like if it's a man's world bringing me down, I don't want to be queen, I want to be king. Don't say that a woman cannot think with her dick, right?
Yeah, hell yeah, that's what
Love
she
these
said. She
lines.
said that in the song.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Wow, so that, guys, is Simon on drums right there. And oh yeah, don't forget, he runs on mango juice.
He runs on mango juice.
Well, is there a certain like mango juice that you actually make it, or do you buy it? Like, we want to know
buy it.
sponsorships.
It's like organic, fair trade mango juice, but it's like from the supermarket here. So it's nothing that fancy or special. It's just straight up mango juice.
Wow, that's
I think
amazing.
it's mixed in as well. Like it's not even pure mango. There's a little bit of like passion fruit and I'm not sure, maybe a little bit of orange juice in there as well, but mostly it's mango.
So what was your favorite thing to eat when you was in your travels? Did you find anything that's like your favorite food that you really loved that you didn't eat when you were in Germany that you missed?
Well, yeah, obviously, like fresh mangoes. I would have fresh mangoes pretty much every day for breakfast in the morning. Like, you know, like when you're in South or Central America, you can just pick them from the street. Like there's
They're like
mango trees everywhere.
They're like our apple trees here.
Yeah, exactly. And but yeah, so that was probably the biggest impact. Like I wasn't a big like I didn't even know the fruit that well. Like when you buy a mango here in the store, like if it's a cheap one, then it's usually comes by boat, and that means that they are picked when they are not ripe, right? So they ripen on the journey and in the supermarket, and it's just not the same thing as when you pick a ripe mango from the tree. Like that is so sweet and so intense in flavor, and you know those that you get here from the supermarket, yeah, you know, they are kind of okay-ish, but they are just not as good as if you picked it like ripe from the tree, right?
Yeah, it's like
so yeah, that's
avocados
something,
are really
like
big here.
mango. And yeah, and also some seafood, I would say, but for the most part it's the fruits. I was really into the fruits. Like I had never tried durian before. Breadfruit is a big one. Like I'm amazed by the versatility of breadfruit. Like that's something that could really help us feed the world. Like, to be honest, it's a tree. I don't know if you know it. They also call and jackfruit as well. So like those are trees that grow really big and can get very old, and they produce like huge big fruits that you can use in various ways. Like you can even like fry them, and you know, like breadfruit is just amazing. It's something that I had never eaten before, and it really had an impact on the way.
So you can't describe what it tastes like, because I've never had it either. Well, I've never had that
well,
kind.
like breadfruit is very rich in starch, so it's kind of a potato from a tree, if you want so, but it does not taste like potatoes at all. Actually, it has a very mild flavor on its own, so it's very versatile in that you really can season it in many different ways. Like you can make it like salty and spicy and everything, and like grill it on the grill, or you know, like bake it in the oven or stuff like that. But then you can also like make it sweet and make like a dessert out of it. And it's just like yeah, it's like you can slice it. Like it's big fruits that you can put into many shapes, and you could think of it as if yeah, maybe like a potato, but then also not. Like it does not taste like potato, but you could use it in similar ways, right? And then Bran is asking what durian is like. Durian is a whole different thing. Like
is it that stinky one that everybody talks about?
Yes, exactly. That's the stinky one. Durian is it's pretty known worldwide because it stinks so bad. Like it really does. Like especially when they are ripe. And that's when they taste really good, but you really have to like hold your breath when you're eating it, because otherwise it's gonna mess with your sense of taste, like right? And
I've known people that like the way it tastes,
I'm not a
but not the way it
huge fan.
smells.
I understand why people love it though. Like to me, the taste, like the smell always puts me off, and you really have to hold your breath when you're eating it, because and then it tastes really nice. It's like it's very sweet. It's really nice. Very good dessert. Yeah, it has a very nice taste, but the smell is awful. It's really awful. It smells rotten. Like it's really, if you smell it, you think you don't want to eat it because it smells like it's already rotten. But that's when they taste the best, right? It's a wicked one.
Wicked fruit. Smells bad, tastes good. That's very strange. But yeah, I've heard people say the same thing. Like, oh, if you get past the smell, it tastes like a certain thing that you can't describe it, because if you've never had a banana, how you describe bananas, right?
Yeah, exactly. the case. Like durian has its very own taste. It's very sweet. That's what I can say. All right, and it tastes like durian.
Wow. So we didn't mention
another one is jackfruit. That is actually a great one. That does not smell, but it tastes like vanilla pudding. Pretty much. Like when they are very ripe, they have like a vanilla aroma and scent to it, and they are very sweet as well. So that's a great one as well.
I've never had that either.
So yeah, there's plenty of amazing fruits from tropical and subtropical areas that I discovered on my travels and that I really love, or lychees, for example, is another example. I love lychees, but yeah, like they don't grow here in Germany, right?
So, Simon, you didn't mention your third band.
That is true. I have yet another band, and that is a German folk rock band, if you want to call it so, or like kind of singer-songwriter style. A big emphasis on the lyrics, which are in German, so many of you might not be able to understand it. But yeah, it's like there's like a singer-songwriter culture here in Germany where, like it gets political as well. Like, actually, let me show you because it looks beautiful as well. This is our newest album, our second album. It's called Liebt, which means love.
Aww.
With an exclamation mark. I don't know if you can see it, but it's like an egg with wings.
Yeah, I thought that was an egg. I didn't want to say it was an egg if it wasn't an egg, but it is an egg, right?
Yes, it's an egg.
Oh.
This is what it like. I don't know. Can you? Yeah, that's even smaller, right? Yeah.
It's like wings on an egg.
Yeah, you can. You get the idea. So it's like a singer-songwriter, folk rock, blues type of band. And like we get a little bit political as well in that we promote like empathy and like healthy communities, like like not taking stuff too seriously and just trying to also we in some of our songs we put the finger in the wound, right? And we address stuff like the military budget and like we have some songs that are pretty critic, I guess, of some of the things. Yeah, Alpine's got it.
I love that. I smiled when I saw it.
Nice, an egg with wings. I like it. The Maxa egg with some Twitch wings. Awesome stuff.
So cute.
So what's the group name?
We on the one hand we have like songs that have like some political background to it, like mostly promoting like peace and demilitarization and like diplomacy over war and stuff like that, and healthy communities. And of course there's a lot of love songs as well, and like songs about our like human struggles, right, and stuff like that. So yeah, that is Svenna, Morales and Simon, or for short SMS, like short message service. And that's just that's the three of us, and yeah, we have German lyrics, and yeah, if you like to, we can also watch a music video from that band, so you get an idea of what it sounds like.
All right, we're gonna pull you off screen so I can load up this video. Where is it at? This is... What's the song called, or what? Did you put a link in? Oh, I found it. I got it. Yeah.
The song is called Bleib einfach.
Yeah, I found it. I got it. Okay. Bring it back up on screen.
Really loving this fro, guys. It's growing on me, and it's like it.
The curls. You look amazing. I mean, I've said that several times now, but I'm really digging the costumes. It was Luna, actually, for those of you who are wondering. It was Luna that suggested the hippie theme for today.
I mean, look at it.
And I think you're spot on, my dude.
Thank you. Thank you.
We got the tassels. So later on tonight, we will do also a theme stream on Luna's channel. So come in and have fun and put requests. We're going to be making some noise. We're going to do 60s and 70s Woodstock type theme songs. So if you guys want to see us vibe to that, come in and put in requests and we'll have fun. The after party after the podcast. So it'll be really fun.
Do that. All right, let's listen to this song from Simon's other band, SMS. Because I won't be able to say that whole thing.
Wait, Simon, say the name again for us.
It's called Bleib einfach. That's like a word play. It means simply stay or stay simple at the same time.
All right, let's hear it.
All right, let's hear it. Here on YenYork. I love that. Oh my God, Simon, that was so sweet. I loved it. I love the video. You guys all look like you're from a different era. So there's a pirate, there's a New Yorker from the 1900s, and there's you, the hippie / rocker guy.
Yeah, it looks like a fun music video that you guys were just trying to like get things together and situated, but like you were trying to like find a setup and whatnot. And
Again, so cute, and with your little drum set,
Yeah,
and you're walking around.
Hey, that set sounded really good on the album.
I loved it. Hey, Tom.
And that shot of you guys in the water with the instruments floating, that's a really nice shot.
That's my favorite.
That was an awesome photo right there.
I really like
thank
that.
you so much. Actually, the music video came together. It was more or less a side product of a photo shoot we did. So that's also why it looks like we're setting things up and stuff. Like we had a film crew filming whilst we were also having like a photo shoot. So yeah, that's also why we used like throwaway instruments, so to say. That's why I have this super cheap kids drum set, and the bassist is using a guitar with like the plate of his bass like just glued to it and stuff like that, you know. And yeah, you know, we don't take ourselves too serious. That's also something that I think is in this video. I mean, as you can see me jamming out on the little kids drum set, right?
Yeah.
And if you haven't noticed, that's also from this photo shooting. I took also the profile picture here on Twitch. That is actually from this shoot. So yeah, you can see that little kids drum set in there, like my little. Yeah, I use those for the DrumsWithSimon brand if you want. So
That's
because
so
I just
cute.
love, like, I don't take myself too serious anyway. So I thought
fun.
it was
Yeah, you
super
gotta
funny
have fun with
to have
it.
like this picture with my hippie outfit and the little kids drum set in
Yeah.
there. So yeah, I think it makes people laugh, right?
Aw,
And that's
yeah.
really what I'm all about and what I want to do. I want to put a smile on people's faces and spread the good vibes, right?
That water must have been really warm.
No, it wasn't actually.
He was like, no.
That is the Baltic Sea, where we shot this like here in the north of Germany on the Baltic Sea, and it was okay. I mean, it was not like ice cold, but I think the water had maybe like, well, let's say 12, maybe 14 degrees Celsius, that is. Something like that. So it was rather cold, but you get used to it. Like, as long as you move, it's okay. But once you stand still in the water, it's getting a bit chilly.
I want to do a photo shoot here like that with the water.
In the water.
Yeah, I love the way it looks. I love
With the reflection.
Yeah, it's just something about it. And then you're clothed, but it's just like you don't care. You have your it's just so nice. I really like that concept, and the video came out. I really love all of them, like children, like all equally, because they all have a different vibe and all a different flavor, but they're all super fun, and they live in me. When I hear them, it stays with me. Like the first song, it was like I was still like, after it was over, I still had that rhythm in me. Second one, same thing. The Nativa one, same thing. This one, they're all amazing. So, and it's also because who's the drummer? Simon!
My final question for today is how do you balance the time between all three bands now that, you know, with everything going on?
Well, first of all, thank you, Yen, for your kind words. I really appreciate it, and I'm always happy to hear like feedback about the projects that I'm involved in. And actually, Luna, getting to your question, it is it works out. I mean, I operate on a first come first serve basis, right? And all of my bands know that. Like, obviously, all of my bands know of each other, so everybody's on the same page. And actually, two of my bands, Nativo and SMS, used to have the same booking agency, so that made things easier even. But yeah, our booking agency blew up, but that's a whole different story. Not for today, probably. So we're currently looking for a new a booking agency for a new artist agency. But yeah, that's a different story. So I have. Well, it's 3 bands, so we rehearse usually once a week. That means I have 3 rehearsals that are scheduled each week, and then for the concerts, it's, as I say, like a first come first serve basis. If I get a gig and I have time, it gets in the calendar, and then when another band gets a gig, but it comes in later, then I just have to say sorry. On that day, I already have a gig, or sometimes I can make it possible. Like, then we can switch around the times a little bit. So I play that one gig in the afternoon and the other gig in the evening or late at night or something like that, right? Like, also depending on the how far the gigs are apart. But I did that several times as well. So like playing one gig on a festival really early, like in the afternoon or at noon, and then like straight after the gig, like running off stage, jumping into the car and driving like 100 kilometers or so to get to the next gig, which is in the evening then. So yeah, we find ways to make it work out. And yeah, as I said, like if you come in early, you will get the gig. And all of my bands are very understanding about the fact that I have other bands as well. So I always, like when a new gig comes in, I get asked like, can you do this there then, and I say yes or no, and it's as simple as that.
Nice.
Love it all. Love it all. Simon, it's been a super amazing time being with you. I think you're one of the most beautiful drummers, person, by everything. Like you're just full of everything that I think a human being should have to make a complete, evolved soul. Because you've experienced everything from living in a rainforest with a tribe to being with different bands with different kind of cultures. You live in Germany, yet you still have like all this stuff that you've taken with you with your travels. You speak how many languages? I mean, you're very cultured. There's
like
so many
4.5 maybe.
I mean, I
wouldn't
want to be more
count
like
Portuguese.
Simon is
My
what I'm saying.
Portuguese is really bad.
You're Portuguese? You also know Portuguese and Spanish, kind of a little bit like the sister
Yes.
languages, right? They have similarities, like Italian too. So like those 3 languages. Yeah. But yeah, what I'm saying is Simon is freaking awesome, guys, and it was a pleasure having him here. And I could be here all day just learning more about him because he has so much to talk about and learn. He could teach us all something, I think.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Absolutely. Same for you, Yen and Luna. I really appreciate like your invitation, and it's awesome to hang out with you and also with the community. We have a bunch of lovely people in chat hanging out throughout this whole thing. We've been going for almost 3 hours at this point,
and there's so much we didn't even touch
everybody's
upon.
been kind of clinging to our lips and going along, and I really appreciate that a lot. So yeah, the pleasure is all mine. Thank you so much for your invitation and for all the kind words. I'm super happy how this turned out, and I'm very grateful for you and also for all the audience that is here right now. So thank you all so much.
And of course, we always wrap it up with the 12 songs to the soundtrack of your life. And I did give you that heads up about those 12 songs. So, and this is going to be interesting because he has a vast variety of taste in music. So, what would be your soundtrack?
That is a hard nut to crack, actually. Like picking out 12 songs from all of the music out there, and then also like making it kind of make sense in a timely manner. But I've been thinking a little bit about it. I'm gonna make this up as well on the fly a little bit, but. When I go back, like my parents, obviously, the first music that I was exposed to was obviously what my parents listened to, right? So when I was in the tummy of my mommy still, she would always listen to classical music. My mom is a big fan of classical music, so like all the you name it, Bach, Beethoven, and that stuff.
Like good stuff.
And one thing that always cheered me up and that I still to this day love very dearly is Vivaldi. Vivaldi has a way of is very cheerful, like very, very cheerful classical music, and particularly the first movement of Spring from the Four Seasons. That's what I would pick as like one of my first influences in music. So that was something that my mom would listen to, right? Like she would always listen to classical music and sometimes to opera and stuff like that. But most of the time, Bach, Haydn, and stuff like that. So yeah, Vivaldi would be my first pick when I was a child, and I couldn't really had no say in what I was listening, right? And then my dad would always listen to jazz and rock and roll stuff, mostly jazz, but a little bit of rock and roll as well. And one song that always resonated very well with me as a little child was the Red River Rock. I don't know if you remember that tune. It's a very well-known tune from back in the days, and it's got like a jive feel to it. It's rock and roll, and I just love the melody. And to this day, I would definitely call it a certified bop. That is the Red River Rock. And actually then the first album that I bought, or the first single, the first CD that I bought from my own money from the store, the first conscious decision where I picked up some music as I was growing older, was Green Day. My very first CD was Greek Stink Breath by Green Day.
Oh wow!
And then quickly after that came like the Off the Wall album, and so I would say that the next tune would be then Basket Case by Green Day. So I was really into punk rock once I got into music and got to buy my own CDs and stuff. I went straight to punk rock. So that would be like Green Day, Die Toten Hosen, and Die Ärzte, which are like two German punk rock groups, very big back in the day. So the next one would be Schrei nach Liebe by Die Ärzte, which is a song about like how Nazis in reality just need to are missing love in their life, and that's why they are Nazis, right? It's a great song, trust me. Schrei nach Liebe by Die Ärzte. And Hier kommt Alex by Die Toten Hosen, which is a song about Clockwork Orange.
Yeah, Alpine knows.
Alpine throws that song
Alpine knows, yeah, and Yeltsin knows as well, I'm sure. So the Germans in here, they know these songs. Like Schrei nach Liebe and Hier kommt Alex are very, very famous German punk rock songs. And yeah, then I got in. Obviously, then someone showed like Americana to me, the Offspring, and all that stuff. So we had Green Day. Then I would say like the Offspring with "Pay the Man" is one of my all-time favorite.
Oh, I
songs
love that
from
song. I requested that song. It's like really long, and it starts off like not tribal music, but it's like almost Mediterranean. Like, and there's such a vibe. That's one of my favorites, ironically, and I love the Offspring too.
Absolutely, it's kind of psychedelic, but then it turns into like a whole punk rock thing.
Yes.
But the whole intro is super psychedelic, and I love that. So I'm a big Offspring fan, and that was how I got into music, like through punk rock. Really, that's my roots. And then from there on, I would say the next tune would be Engel by Rammstein. So I got a bit heavier there. That was huge in Germany. Like before they came out big in the world, they had their first smash hit here in Germany was Engel. That was when they entered the stage, really, and when all of a sudden everybody knew Rammstein, and the whole album Sehnsucht was very influential to me, and that's how I got into more like rock music, harder rock music, not just punk rock. Well, speaking of punk rock, you would there's many punk bands that I could name here, like Vizo or like Pennywise. There's many that I've been listening to a lot back in the days, and then Rammstein, and then also came the time when this new metal wave crushed over the world, like Limp Bizkit. And that was one that was very influential to me, because that bass drum intro of My Generation really hit me hard. Like this is, right? Sorry for my neighbor. So that is something that was one of the songs that I had to learn on the drums, and that gave me more versatility playing that with just like a single pedal, right? So that would be My Generation by Limp Bizkit. And yeah, it like, actually I have songs that I think are even better by this band than just My Generation, but that was one where this bass drum intro was very intriguing to me as a teenager, like John Otto, take him to the Matthews Bridge, right? And so yeah, that would be, and then of course Linkin Park. When we're talking about and yeah, Bloodhound Gang was in there as well in that period of time, right? So but yeah, Linkin Park, definitely a big one, a huge one, like the whole Hybrid Theory album, and like every single song basically, like they hit home with me, right? Like wow. And yeah, so I don't know, I would say Numb probably. But yeah, there's many, or in the end, probably in the end, even more than Numb, maybe. Yeah, in the end, like I know it's very melodramatic, but I was going through like an emo phase there.
I think a lot of us in our generation, because I think we're all kind of similar in age, we all kind of grew up with that, you know? So I understand that. It's completely.
Yeah, right. And
come on, neighbors, we were doing so well.
I know. Right at the end, they start up again. Yeah, and Smash Cab knows. He knows. He likes a lot of punk. So Smash, I know this is kind of like a little question that maybe I should save, but Smash, is that from an Offspring song, the album? Is that why you're named? Because you're such a punk rock fan? I'm saying. But yeah, that whole time and era with the nu metal was really big to me too.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Also,
so
like POD, Youth of the Nation, and you know, all those tracks came out, and they were really, really like influential for me as well, like and forming my musical taste, and then it got more heavy for me, like, and well, before we get, like, I would like to mention Slut as well. That's a German emo band, if you want to say so. So by the time I would listen to like Hybrid Theory, I would also love Slut, and there's many songs like the Never Ending, for example. And that's also around the time when I discovered Muse, another big influence. I love Muse very much. And then also, of course, I should have mentioned, then after that, after this emo phase, I got a bit more cheerful, I guess. And I would listen to Die Fantastischen Vier, which is a German like hip-hop group. And also, I guess, if I had to name a track, then it would be Tag am Meer. A very influential track of, like, basically Die Fantastischen Vier is who brought hip hop to Germany, really. Like there wasn't much of a hip hop culture here in Germany, and they really established it back in the 90s already. Oh gosh, that's a long time ago. And yeah, Tag am Meer is like a song about an LSD trip, basically, and it is great. It's just very great. And then after that came some solo projects from one of their singers called Thomas D, and he did the whole Reflektor Falke thing. Like one of my all-time favorite songs is Liebesbrief and Millionen Legionen. Probably only German people will understand that at this point, because that's all German songs, but they are very, very powerful and empowering songs indeed. And yeah, it gives me goosebumps just thinking about those, so I had to mention these. And yeah, so then also I loved like Semi Deluxe and Absolute Beginners, Fettes Brot, there was a very nice part of the German hip hop culture that was really really had great lyrics and very really, really creative. And so then after that I got into really heavy music as well, like it got even heavier. And I would listen to Chimera or what are all these called? Like I I found Arch Enemy, for example, Machine Head, Fear Factory, all that stuff, right? Like if I had to name one, it would be Dead Eyes See No Future by Arch Enemy. That was also kind of on the end of my emo phase still. So yeah, you see I'm struggling here to there's so much music in my life.
Great,
it's
though.
hard to
Great.
just pick a few, right? And then I had a huge Machine Head phase, like when The Blackening came out, for example, but also before that, like Machine Head and Fear Factory, obviously. Oh my God, like, wow, that was also that inspired me on what could be done on a drum set as well. Like the drums in Fear Factory songs are out of this world. You think they are programmed because like the double bass patterns are so insane, right? And yeah, what's got me into that. And then from there, I went straight to like Meshuggah, and these days I love to listen to Gojira and stuff like that. And in between, yeah, Demanufacture, there you go. So I think, New Millennium Cyanide Christ by Meshuggah was one very influential song, but like all of their songs really, they showed me like how far you can take music. And then of course Tool is a big one that I have to mention. Like I love Tool so much, like from the very get-go, and also A Perfect Circle. Tool and A Perfect Circle were with me
honey,
for
you're
all
speaking
of
my
these
language.
years.
So is Danny Carey? I didn't ask this, and this is something I should have. I think because we got carried away with like the traveling thing. Also, your top 5 drummers. You have to tell us your top 5 favorite drummers before you leave.
Yeah, Danny would definitely be in there. Like especially, I love the old Tool stuff, but actually the newest album, by Tool, like they came out with an album a few years ago after like a 20-year hiatus or something like that, and that's like an hour of drum solo with some Tool music attached to it, right? Like Danny did an incredible job on that new Tool album, and I'm digging it so much. I love the virtuoso that he is on that album. And yeah, obviously Danny Carey, big influence. Like if I had to Thomas Hake from Meshuggah, big influence. Joey Jordison from Slipknot as well. Like, dude, that got me all into that tribal drumming style and stuff, right? And Sepultura. I haven't even mentioned Sepultura. I'm a huge geek, and Cavalera, amazing dude on the drums as well. Like that raw tribal power. Like he doesn't even care about the click or anything. Like
Sepultura is crazy.
Their most successful Sepultura albums, they are completely volatile in tempo. They didn't even bother to use a click. It's just like raw energy and power, right? And I really like that. And but then also drummers. There's so many drummers as well. Brian Blade is a jazz drummer that I dig. Absolutely love this dude. And his facial gymnastics while drumming are legendary as well. And there's many, like Porcupine Tree, like Gavin Harrison is one of my biggest inspirations. And lately I've been getting into Leprous. So Bart Kolstad is an amazing inspiration as a drummer. Like he does crazy stuff. And there's so many. There's really so many, and it's hard to name just 5, right? So yeah. And well, then speaking of John Bonham is something that you would, like, pretty much any drummer would name, right? And there was a phase where I really got into, and I'm still am into this old school stuff. That's like I wasn't I didn't grow up with it, but later. Like particularly when I went to university and went through all these psychedelic experiences and stuff, I really got into Deep Purple, Led Zeppelin, The Doors, Jimi Hendrix, all that stuff, right? The good stuff from back in the days. And to this day, I really dig it. I'm a huge fan. So I have to mention like Stormbringer, for example, by Deep Purple, one of my favorite Purple songs. And yeah, and then also Pink Floyd, obviously. That was...
So Simon is like the male version of me, basically. Like everything you mentioned is like everything that I grew up with, that I love, that are influenced, in music. Okay, that's amazing.
Yeah,
I
that's
love
kind
all
of an
them.
insight into like my inner workings. I listen to jazz as well, as I said, like Brian Blade and the Fellowship Band, something that I really like. And yeah, there's so much music. It's hard to pick just 12, right? But yeah, there you go. That's kind of an insight into how I work musically. I also love funk and fusion and stuff like that. Like
good music is good music.
When Chick Corea, for example, when he died, that hit me hard. Like that dude has some crazy musical abilities, and I loved pretty much everything that Chick was involved in.
Amazing. I love everything. Everything you're talking is my language right now, and the fact that everything it's made you who you are just shows how diverse you can be as a musician, and all the different inspirations you get from each genre, because every genre has a little bit of a difference to create the musician you are now.
You want to give them the stamp?
Absolutely.
So yeah, I really think that you are super special. You're one of my favorite people that I've met on Twitch, because you just all around awesome in so many ways. There's so much to even that we didn't dive into, so we might have like to have you back, you know, once you get more stuff going. I know that you have 3 bands, so right now you're currently very active in all of them, right? But you have that new single that came out this week with the video, so that one is it on Spotify too, that one?
Yes, it is. It is. Follow Vatar on Spotify, please. We are
And
very
also,
new. It's our first single. It will be awesome to gain some followers there as well.
I followed you on Spotify and also Instagram. You guys have an Instagram, so that's
Yes,
amazing.
we do.
I love it. I love all of them. All your bands are awesome, because you're the drummer. So that, you know, hey, there you go. That's one of the main reasons. So I want to thank you so much for this time and space. Simon, you're beautiful inside and out. I love everything about you. I'm grateful to have you here, and I can't wait to see you doing more things on Twitch and also outside of Twitch with your bands. I send you more than everything in the world. You deserve everything. You're amazing. All right.
Aww.
So thank you so much. You're freaking amazing. And you are a certified YenYorkCity rock star. And I hope one day we can meet also. Phoenix! Thanks for coming right at the end. Are you going to TwitchCon? I was going to ask you, because TwitchCon is going to happen next year and a year from now in October. The one in Europe, I think, is in July. I'll try to go to the one in Europe. But do you have any plans to maybe attend?
Yeah, I mean, the one in Europe will be in Amsterdam, so that is very close to where I live. That's actually kind of manageable to get there, and I would love to be there for sure. I'm very much looking forward to it as well. And I saw that you guys are planning a little bit of a bigger event as well for the US TwitchCon. And
Yeah.
of course, I would love to go there, but I think it's gonna be a little bit difficult to get over the ocean and all that stuff, you know, and make time for it. And I'm not sure. But
we're
I
doing
will
it big.
definitely try and most probably be in Amsterdam for the European TwitchCon. Yes.
That's going to be
Nice.
awesome.
Yeah, we're gonna try to see if we can get out there as well, so that we can meet everyone in EU, hopefully. So
That
fingers
would be
crossed.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're definitely doing the US one. We're going to rent a beach house. We're going to have a whole thing with catering, and it's going to be a big YenYorkCity party. We're going to try to see if we can rent instruments and have like everyone that's been on the podcast that are attending TwitchCon. We're going to have like a big concert and just like we're going to make a music video in the pool, in the hot tub. We're gonna be like, woo! We're going to do everything. We're going to have
Drummer's hot tub stream.
Yes, all the sexy drummers in the hot tub, guys. You can't miss it. So if you guys have been on the podcast, you guys are all invited to this party. So it's gonna be
dang
big.
it. You really make me want to go. Like,
Start saving
I
now.
would love to be there. And also, of course, I'm very much looking forward to give you a real person hug.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
But one day we have to meet in person. So we'll make
Absolutely.
it happen. You're amazing. I really enjoyed this time.
And if not from an event, we'll definitely work a trip out to Germany. And
We have so many friends in Germany
out that
too. I mean, Alpine, Armad, and then next week, guys, we have Wampe. Or I'm saying it probably wrong. Am I saying it wrong, Simon?
It's Vampe.
It's with a V.
Vamp.
Vampa, yeah, like a
Vampa.
vamp, but like vampa, yeah.
Vampa is gonna be.
It means like tummy or belly.
Oh.
Like a big tummy is a vampa.
Oh,
He does have a nice voice, so maybe that's coming from below and
He
getting
has a
projected
radio.
up. Like-
He has a radio voice. He has an awesome voice.
yeah.
Absolutely.
So yeah, we're gonna have another awesome German drummer next week. So make sure to follow us if you're not following, and also Simon, go follow him. And we're gonna go right now and raid an awesome streamer, and also he's very jazz infused. But right now I think he's having a theme stream. He's having an anime stream. So we're gonna go give love to our awesome brother from another mother, Ray Musica.
Hooray!
We're gonna go and give him some love. So go get spam.
Stick around, spam some emotes. We have a raid emote for you guys to copy and paste to show some love. And yeah, thanks again, Simon. It was fun.
Yes.
We learned a lot.
Ray is amazing.
Yeah, I know you love
I'm
Ray.
looking forward. I love Ray as well, and thank you so much once again. I am super grateful. It was amazing. Thank you for the opportunity to hang out with you and talk about all this stuff. It was really great. Thank you so
for sure.
much, really.
Thank you. And you know, for everyone that is tuned in, thank you guys for hanging out, for all of your support, for the raids, for the follows, for the subs, and for the donations. You guys are what makes us keep this alive and going. So, you know, even just you being here goes a long way. So thanks a lot for tuning in and getting to know Simon some more with us. We will be on tonight playing some 60s and 70s jams.
Do 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 do.
So if you're
Burn,
up-
baby, burn.
If you're up and you want to come and hang out, join us on my channel, Luna Satori, here on Twitch.
We're gonna have fun, so it's gonna be around 7:30. We're gonna go get some to eat. So after party later tonight, meet us there. And also don't forget to follow all of our socials, and you know, we usually say when we're going live there. So thank you so much again, beautiful Simon. We love you. Thank you so much.
Love you too.
You're amazing. Mwah. And we'll see you guys in Ray's stream. Go show him some love.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. Peace, love. Peace and love.
Bye bye.
YenYorkCity Podcast. YenYorkCity Podcast. YenYorkCity Podcast. YenYorkCity Podcast.